start. They're off in the Preakness.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Preakness Pre-Show, brought to you by America's Best Racing. We are live here at a very, very warm and sticky Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore, Maryland. I am joined by Bram, back in the house for a little reunion, Preakness reunion. I'm very excited to see you.
Snuck in. Yeah.
Snuck in. I don't know who let him in. And of course, Dan the Man Tordjman. Can't get rid of him.
Oh, can't get rid of him. So first of all, as soon as Bram walked in today, I look and I'm like, dude, what crime show did you just walk up? Like old school mafia show did you just walk off of?
I mean,
it's nice.
It seems a bit much and aggressive.
Yeah.
You've gone with the classic Dan Tordjman style.
Yes, and I just look
Bow tie.
fabulous.
Yes, true.
Guys, listen, let's state the obvious. What's happening here? We're all a little shiny. It is 97 degrees without the heat index. 2 weeks ago, when we were at the Kentucky Derby, it was a cool 48 and very breezy.
And we were complaining.
And today, we are still complaining. Don't you worry. This will be a live stream of heat stroke and lots of water bottles. But
hopefully not. We do have water down here,
yes,
so
we're
going to keep this flowing throughout the day. It's been a warm day, as Danielle touched on. We're going to cover 3 races that we're going to actually watch with you as well, highlighted by the Preakness Stakes. Now, depending on where you are, our signal might be a little bit choppy, so we're going to tell you to bear with us. The heat is affecting everything, from the internet connection to the power and everything else. But we're live and we're streaming, so that's good. I also know that Bram is about to get on a soapbox in about 10 to 15 minutes, and you're not going to want to miss that.
I'm upset too.
Yeah, people.
I know everybody's upset.
People who are defenders of Rich Strike and his handlers.
Yeah.
Tune out.
You know, yeah.
Tune out.
We're gonna give you all the tea, spilling all the tea today. So we're excited. It's gonna be good. We got the one filly in the race today, Secret Oath, representing for my ladies. So we'll talk about Secret Oath here in a little bit. But yeah, it's gonna be a good race.
So we're taking a look at some of the views from around Pimlico Racecourse here in Baltimore.
It's quite the mix. Very, very over-the-top dressed, or very T-shirt, honky-tonk, like Broadway and Nashville, like.
Hey, the Maryland natives here take offense to the word honky-tonk.
Oh, I'm sorry. In Nashville, that is like the cream of the crop, honey.
Dirty,
honky-tonk.
fine, right?
Okay.
Honky-tonk, no.
Look at that. We got the chain smokers. They absolutely crushed it earlier. I came to Megan the Stallion last night. Dan was there. It's just a part. It is not your granddaddy's horse race. That's for sure. Like, they just had such amazing musical acts, great food.
Yeah, the musical talent, the chef's lineup last night was absolutely incredible. And we've also got a variety of guests that are going to be joining us throughout the next 3 hours. We take you up to and through the Preakness, including everyone's favorite, Ian Rapoport, will be rejoining us. He made his debut on our Saratoga show last year. He's going to be coming back. And we've also got Coach Shane Beamer from the University of South Carolina will be with us. Lots of big guests. And Bram, you're going to speak to one of our first guests here in a few moments.
Jennifer King, who's the first full-time assistant coach on an NFL franchise. My Washington Commanders is standing literally to my right. She's going to come in here and join us now. So, Jennifer, why don't you come on?
Wait, why is your team Washington? Are you from there? What's going on?
I am from Silver Spring, Maryland. I grew up a giant Redskins fan. I am the play-by-play voice of the Washington Commanders.
Oh my gosh,
so
I've learned
this is
something
truly
new.
my team. Yeah, it's truly my team. As Jennifer King joins us here on set. First off, welcome to the Preakness.
Thank you.
This feels a little more training camp, the weather, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
I wasn't expecting it.
Oh my gosh, and then next week it's going to be like 70 and rainy. So, but you look amazing. I love your suit.
Thank you. I appreciate
Very
it.
cool.
Thank you.
So is this your first horse race?
It is. It's my very first race. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. So this is awesome.
Yes, and it's very, very fun. I think this is the most fun race out of all of them, with the musical guests and everything. That's great.
Let's find out where you are on this. Epicenter is a big favorite today, right?
Yes.
So we'll call him Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Are you an underdog sort, or are you a go with the front runner sort?
I mean, I think I'm going to go with the underdog, right?
Yeah.
You have to take the field.
If anyone learned anything from the Derby, it's you got to go with the underdog.
Exactly.
Also, I feel like the horse trainers are very similar to NFL coaches, like the Bill Belichick's or like the Tom Pritchards. Like it's very. I pick my horses by the trainers, kind of as well.
Sense.
So yeah, I try to make some little analogies back and forth here. But.
All right, so let's say week 1. Jacksonville, that's who the Commanders get this year. Let's say it could be in DC, 98 degrees. How do you get the players ready? How do you keep them so that things don't get out of hand and they get tired during the game?
Yeah, they'll be good by then. I mean, we'll be through training camp, which will be hot. So obviously the Florida team coming up, so it shouldn't be a factor if it's hot that day. They'll do a great job hydrating, and once they get through that initial emotion of the first game of the season, they'll lock in, they'll be fine.
What about the trainers today? What would you tell them? Keep their horses ready, be careful here. Heat could play a factor today.
Absolutely. I mean, I know in the human world, hydration's everything. So I'm sure the horses need to be hydrated and ready to roll.
And that's so amazing. You're the first female coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was that like? Like, were you intimidated? Like, as a woman, we're kind of used to that and going against the grain. So what were your first couple of practices like? Did you have to have speeches with the boys? What was that like?
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I never thought I would be here.
Yeah.
I came from college basketball, so I was already... It wasn't as bad of a transition just because I was used to being in that position.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm coaching a lot more famous people now, but they're great. The guys are great to work with. We have great relationships, man.
That's
I love them.
good.
Let me tell you what she did, okay? Her first real project and star of the team was Antonio Gibson.
All right.
And Antonio Gibson came out of college. He was a wide receiver.
Yeah.
He didn't even play running back, and he's become a star for this team basically as a primary running back. Can you kind of take us through what that's been like the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, AG obviously came in as a receiver, didn't really know anything about the position, but he's super athletic and was willing to work and learn, and he did that. And, I'm so happy for him, so proud of his season he had last year going over 1,000 yards, and I think he's primed for another great year.
Amazing.
I think so too. And this team also in the draft got him help.
Oh, great.
So you guys have an interesting room this year with Brian Robinson out of the SEC. So you got some help out there this year.
Absolutely. Brian's come in. He's been great so far in the room. Those Alabama guys, they're league ready. So he's stepping in. He's ready to play. And I think him and AG will be a great 1-2 punch.
Do you get to look at the recruits and coming out of college and have say in that, or?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the past 2 or 3 months, that's all I've done. It's kind of evaluate running backs coming out. So, Brian was very high on our list, so we're very happy that we got him.
That's so fun, and too, it changes someone's life going into the NFL and their whole trajectory and their family's trajectory. So it's very cool to have that kind of power, I guess.
Absolutely. Me, I mean, I just want to make sure they're all taken care of. So I'm making sure they have things that they need. It's coming into an adult world that they may not know they need in their homes. Do you have silverware in your house? Yeah. Like, I didn't think about that.
You have a microwave?
Stuff, exactly. But I try to make sure they're good.
That's
the team won the division a couple of years ago, 7 wins, came back 7 wins. I think the expectations are a little higher this year. How do you feel about this season as you head into it this year?
I'm excited. I think we have a team that's loaded, a lot of guys that they're a year older. We had a very young team last year, and now these guys are a year older. Obviously with Carson Wentz coming in, I think he's ready to lead us and take that next step. And hopefully we stay healthy. It's football, but I'm excited for the depth that we have and what we're going to do this year.
Who's the team to beat? Dallas, Washington, Philadelphia. What do you think this year?
I mean, if it's the NFC East, I think it got to come back through DC. Obviously,
All right.
I may be partial, but I think it has to go through DC.
That's great. And are you going to bet today on the Preakness?
Yeah, I mean, I'm dipping my toes in a little bit. I don't really know what's going on, so I'm just picking cool names or numbers.
Sometimes that's the best because people have beginner's luck. So especially when they don't know anything, you bet on the name. My first race, actually, like the time ever to the races, we won $3,600 on a $300 bet. But we won a pick 6, which now that I know what I know, I'm like, I picked the winner of 6 races.
Wow.
People can't even pick the winner. Yeah, it's great. It'll never happen again. Yeah. But I do encourage you, if you don't know what you're doing, just be like, oh, that sounds good. This is good because
it worked for you.
Yeah,
so
people overanalyze, and sometimes you just gotta go
It's the first time I've ever heard the gambling technique of
just
go with whatever you think
and
don't worry about it.
Yeah, just go with the flow,
Absolutely.
Especially after the Derby. You saw that Rich Strike, he won. He was 80-1.
That's insane.
The most, and the trainer had never ran a Derby ever. So it's just a Netflix movie waiting to happen.
Absolutely, you never know.
Are you used to Commanders yet? Have you gotten used to the name?
I have. I haven't messed up any, which is good. I haven't accidentally said football team or anything. Yeah. So I love it, though. I mean, I think we're really embracing it. The new gear is sweet. The uniforms look great.
Yeah.
I think people are excited.
You got to see this black jersey they pulled out. I don't know when you guys are going to wear it, but it's awesome. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to watch you this season then.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
Coach, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Very cool. And everyone that is playing bets today, make sure to get into this live chat here while we're on America's Best Racing. You can tune into NBC at what time? 6:30?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Why not?
And we'll be live on the live stream from here till then. We just won't be showing the race itself. We don't want to get sued.
Well, so here's the deal. We actually, there's a slight twist to that.
Oh, stop it.
Slight twist. We do have jockey cam, so we're going to watch the race from the perspective of the jockey. So
Who?
Jockey
we have.
cam.
Oh, which jockey?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Oh, it is?
You got to stay with us to figure that out.
Oh, even we don't know. It must be a real
Are we
big
gonna, like, give
surprise.
it clues?
We don't know.
No clues at all. No clues at all. We do have to talk about one thing. First of all, spectacular
I
job.
hope we have to talk about a lot of things.
Yeah, well, spectacular job by Jennifer, and I
she's
loved
so
listening to that
great.
interview. Just really great from all perspectives. You with the insidery questions, and I think a lot of the questions you hit on were very important, and it was really interesting to hear our reactions to them. So I really enjoyed listening to that from the side, and I also got to sip on some of my Ciroc seltzer thing, which was great. I know that Bram is going to go off and try to make a bet here in a few moments. We're going to bring in a new guest, but the one thing we have to talk about when you get back is how the track is playing. These dirt races, every horse that goes to the front stays there. That has to change the way you look at the Preakness, and I want to dive into that. Now, it doesn't help you now because you're going to go make your bet, so whatever you do, they're locked in. So I'm assuming you've already factored this in.
I think it's interesting you bring it up because Epicenter is not a true front runner, get out and come chase me. He's come a little off the pace, not by much, but he's typically in the first wave. And here, I don't expect any traffic to you. I mean, I really don't. So he could go with this game plan. I only think there are, in this case though, Dan, he to me is of a different class. Right. And so catch me if you can, I would bet that he would. So does his game plan change with all of this? With who are you thinking? Early voting or someone like that to try to actually get out and play that type of role and be a rabbit here? Maybe. I still believe that the quality of Epicenter is just a little too high. So I agree with you that you need to watch out for this, and there's someone that could get loose, but my gut still says Epicenter's cream of the crop, and in the end, one way or the other is crossing the finish line first.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Epicenter's race to lose,
I think so. And look, and I don't think the way the track's playing necessarily hurts Epicenter. I'm speaking more if you're looking to play an exacta or a trifecta, you can't be looking at some of these horses that you might have liked originally coming from off the pace, which sadly includes Secret Oath, which we'll talk about a little bit more. Let's take a look back first at the stretch run of the Kentucky Derby, just so we can take a look at how Epicenter did. And on the other side of that, we'll have our next guest.
Crown Pride and Epicenter is coming up on the outside. Epicenter has taken the lead as they arrive into the final furlong. Sandon is coming after him. Epicenter and Sandon, these two, stride for stride. Simplification down the outside is next. They're coming down to the wire. Epicenter, Sandon, Rich Strike is coming up on the inside. Oh my goodness, the longest shot has won the Kentucky Derby. Rich Strike has done it in a stunning, unbelievable upset.
Absolutely. I have so much to say about that. We have the coolest, best guest here, so I definitely want to jump into her.
Well,
but like,
while you got emotions, go ahead and let them out.
It is just so chilling. Like, I never repost a lot of horse stuff on my page. Like my Twitter, I do, but it is just that NBC clip. The aerial shot. Have you seen the aerial shot? No, I'm not tearing up. But the aerial shot is just so incredible because he is so far behind. Like Rich Strike, I know we're supposed to be talking about Epicenter, but we'll have a whole thing about Rich Strike. But he's just so far behind, to which the commentary, I mean, I haven't talked to the commentator from NBC, but when he was in third, when he pulled into third, the commentator is still talking about simplification. Yeah. Because I think he had to pull up his notes and go, who the heck's that? Who the heck is that? Because he had already passed simplification. It is just such an amazing story. The trainer, if he would have like looked at the people in the back and worried about he was far behind, like it's such an inspirational story. And I wish I would have put $5 on him.
Did you have $5 on him?
No,
I didn't. I had $0 on it, guys. I really messed up. I mean,
everyone did that. He wasn't even my long shot. Simplification was my long shot, but
We should probably formally introduce our guest here in case they haven't. They don't recognize her from all the number of things you've done with us, including being at the Derby with us.
Yes.
That's right.
It's Sarah Klein, Tall Glass of Klein, TikTok,
Hello.
Instagram.
Hi.
Sarah, you are doing the Triple Crown this year, like Danielle.
yes, I didn't know. So now we'll have to be connected. Someone
I
should have
know. We got
connected
that
us,
sis
but
thing going
yes,
on.
Fabulous.
Redheads take the races, baby.
Yes. Was that your first Derby? It was my first Derby.
It was my first Derby. Yes. First time in
Amazing.
Churchill Downs, for sure.
Yeah, so first Triple Crown. There'll be no Triple Crown winner this year because Rich Strike is out today.
Right.
It's a little disappointing, but fashion-wise, it's exciting.
Sis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Today?
Today in Derby, like it's a little different. I think today, I don't think at the Derby you really saw anyone dressed down. Like here, people are very dressed down because the infield is the club.
Steamy.
It's literally chaotic. I feel like you can also not see my face. Hold on.
I know. We're like Battle of the Hats over here.
There we
I'm
go.
like, which side of the table?
Yes. But so what have you been thinking so far, seeing everyone's outfits today?
I've been actually very impressed. I saw like one girl who was in like head to toe sequins, and I was like, she's boiling, and she like is
Oh
a
my
microwave,
gosh,
and like,
yeah.
but she looks fabulous. Like that's the energy I'm here
Yeah.
for.
It's
I
hard
also-
too with the weather because at the Derby it was so cold,
Yep.
and it was like you already have to tell your hat lady what you're doing.
Yes.
So
Shout out to Christine.
yes, Christine Moore is who does our hats, and a lot of the girls here. She's just amazing. But
Also, I love this feather. It's like a paid actor for you. Like every
Thank
time you
you.
like agree with something, it's like also yes,
the
me
true
too.
main character is this feather. If Dan acts up, I just have to
yeah.
I'm trying to,
I've got a
like,
couple
put
of
it.
pokes in the
Oh,
ear
that's
and the
him.
eye. Yep. I
So,
get poked here.
gambling wise,
Yes.
are we learning how to gamble? Have we figured it out?
We're learning. I
figured
still
it.
go by the names. I got to be honest because I'm not going to
Great.
throw Dan under the bus or anything. But,
but you
Dan's
are.
maybe giving me some pointers that
All
like
right.
weren't so good.
Yeah,
No.
no, I would not go to Dan.
Thank you.
But also too, like,
It's all right, if-
he
yeah.
has good
You guys
days.
can turn off the live stream
He
now.
has good days. He has bad days. That's the thing too. I just feel like when you're, like, even the best of the best just don't know. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just,
no,
It
it's
is.
absolutely
it's the wild, wild
Rich
west.
Strike. Case in point, truly
Yeah,
the wild,
yeah,
wild west.
truly the wild, wild west.
But yeah, no, I'm going off names literally in the moment. It's like there was
Yeah.
one that was like take a nap, and I was like, me too. Also,
Yeah.
likewise. Like here's $2.
Yes.
Like,
The good names are always names that have real people's names in them. So Happy Jack. So everyone that knows a Jack or has a Jack. So usually the odds, like Joe. Joe
Yeah.
had like really good odds because that's someone they have like an emotional attachment. So if I was a horse owner, I would name
Little
it
name
like
action.
Dan.
Yeah, and if I were a horse,
And then
I would
it
want a
won't
name
get
like
that.
any
I wouldn't want
money.
anything.
No winning. Thank you. I'm used to this abuse.
Yeah.
You know my wife. I'm
Yeah.
married.
Yeah.
and,
There's
you
never
know,
like
it
two
goes-
girls on the show, so this is
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to like work my way out of this
Yeah.
somehow. And I'll do this by transitioning to another conversation,
Okay, great.
which is you may not always win betting, but Sarah, you're involved in a pretty cool initiative called Stake in Stardom.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I have partial stake in a horse called Giant Game this season,
gosh,
which is so
great.
amazing. I haven't gotten to meet him yet because he actually recently went through a surgery. He was Derby bound, and I think he was having trouble breathing. So he has had surgery, and he is on the mend, and he should be racing at Saratoga later this year. And I get to meet him and
That's awesome.
bet on him and cheer him on and give him that moral support that a
Super
horse
cool.
mom gives. I mean, clearly.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, it's
I
like
love
super
that.
exciting, and yeah, I love it.
It's nice when you have an attachment to something. Like last year, it had attachment to a horse named Soup and Sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
And he did not go far.
Well, that
at
was
all.
involved. That was the day that you hit that pick six.
Yeah,
that
it's
you were
because I
talking
hit
about.
this pick six. I won like $3,600. It was
Okay,
crazy.
drinks
and
on
I was
you.
like, oh, he did so good. And then like, yeah, he just didn't get far. And he was just pretty.
Well, we should, not to be like so cliche, but there is the filly running today.
Yes.
Danielle's expressed no matter what she's betting on the
Yeah,
filly, even
yeah.
though I've
Me
tried to
too.
make the argument that the horse has to come from off the pace and make a big move and all that.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look at how she ran in the Kentucky Oaks and why we're all excited about her.
Off the turn in front. Secret Oath on the outside second. Nest is third in the center of the track. Then comes Desert Dawn. It is Secret Oath and Luis Saez. They have the lead at the 8th pole. That goes to Lou not going with her. Nest is making her run. Desert Dawn is on the outside. But as they come to the wire, it is Secret Oath for the coach, D. Wade Lucas. She wins the Kentucky Oaks. Nest was second.
love Luis Saez. I mean, there's just no competition.
So that
at
was,
all.
look, that track, though, was playing fair. And that's the thing. You talk about you win some, you lose some.
Right.
Yeah.
He also, some days the track is playing fair. Some horses are winning from the front, some are coming from the back. And some days, like today, they're all winning from the front. So I think that's the challenge for Secret Oath, but we'll see. So what is your bet? Now that you've been around long enough, like, what is your bet of choice now?
I mean, I definitely always have to like put money on if there's a female jockey there, you bet like if there's money going there, or if there's a filly, like 100%. But I do want to see Epicenter do something because
Yep.
I do think like that's what we did at the Derby, even though like Rich Strike, power to you. But yeah, I think that's my bet. We gotta
That's good.
bring the female power into the sport. You know.
Yeah,
Love it.
it's exciting. When the jockeys ride a girl versus a boy, are there any kind of differences or?
I mean, look, it's hard to have that discussion without, like, generalizing, but I think as far as the betting public goes, look, there are great female jockeys. Julie Crone, one of the greatest female jockeys of all time, won the Belmont Stakes. There's Rosina Pravnik. She's a Breeders' Cup winner.
No, but I mean
won
like
the
when the horses, like Secret Oath being a female.
Oh, I
yeah,
see
not
what you're saying.
jockeys.
Oh,
I
thought you meant
love
the
girl
female, 'cause
jockeys.
she's-
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, is there any between fillies and
Yeah.
male horses?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, certainly. I mean, look, I think if you speak to some trainers, they'll tell you that you've got to work with fillies differently. You got to bring them along differently. But also the interesting thing with female horses is you notice sometimes they race into their 4, 5, and 6-year-old season.
Right.
They get better with age. I mean, again, it's
Right.
not to fall into cliches. You see there, especially the good ones, and they move into that stallion, that breeding career, whereas the female horses sometimes takes until they're 5 or 6 to really get the best drop.
Right.
So, but Secret Oath is the exception. She's been spectacular so far, and continue.
Where they're, where they train, where they're bred, that they can run better in this kind of heat.
Like a Dubai horse would crush it today.
Yeah, I mean, it's more just it's a visual thing. You look at the horses and you can see them when they're in the paddock or they're before they.
Yeah.
Some horses.
But
react
some horses that
negatively.
get spooked in the gate come out and
some
kill
still do it. Yeah. So
They
it's,
just
it's an inexact
Who
science.
knows?
I do want to mention there is a race coming up here. It's the 11th race at Pimlico. We're able to show here through Jockey Cam for the first time. So here's the split screen cameras of 2 jockey cams, which I believe might be frozen at this moment. But nonetheless, it's the, it's the Sir Barton Stakes. They're going a mile and a 16th on the dirt.
Oh, Ethereal Road.
Ethereal Road. Do you remember that horse?
Yes.
Do you know, can you... No?
I don't know.
So this horse was supposed to run in the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
2 days before, they said they were going to withdraw him from the Derby, so he wasn't. As he came out of the Derby, Rich Strike got to run.
Oh, no way.
But is that how I know?
Probably because he was supposed to be in the
Florida
Derby.
Derby?
He ran prior to that in the Lexington and the Bluegrass.
I've seen
so
him
was
before. Interesting.
Yeah, so he's trained by the same D. Wayne Lucas who
crazy.
trained
Yeah.
Secret Oath, so the same trainer.
Wow.
And if it weren't for this horse not running, Rich Strike would have never run in the Derby.
That's wild.
That's very
So,
wild.
there's
And
a-
then Epicenter probably would have won, and we would have had a triple crown.
Yeah, I still think it's going to have, if Epicenter wins today, everyone's going to say that. It would have been a triple crown.
Yeah.
In this race, and we're going to do analysis as we get closer to the Preakness, I just want to.
It's also easy to say that after you've seen the race, you
Yeah, of
know?
course.
Yeah.
Of course. In this race, I'm interested to see if the speed again goes all the
Yeah.
way, or if not. The speed horses in here, by the way, are the 2 Golden Eyes at 23 to 1,
Mm-hmm.
the 3 at 19 to 1, ride it on the ice.
Yeah.
Another speed horse is the 5 B-Doc, who's 5 to 2, and the 8 Uniki is another speed horse.
I will
The
say
1 who's not a speed horse, there is the favorite.
The writing today is very small. I need glasses. I will say. I mean, then the Derby. Oh,
It's hot. It's,
oh my God, Bram's
God.
notes. Bram's
that's a
notes.
Secrets.
he's got his bets in already. He doesn't care.
The writing versus the riding.
I know,
Like,
that they're riding
is small.
small. Oh my gosh, guys.
Look,
Sorry,
At least we got a breeze. God bless. Hold on, let's put
God
this
bless
here.
it.
there you go. So factoring in the speed, I think B-Doc's the fastest horse. I'm going to go with B-Doc, the 5 horse.
Interesting.
Before we let you go, Sarah, who do you like in the Preakness, aside from Epicenter and Secret Oath? Or is it just those 2?
Those are my 2. I'm
Okay.
sticking
Great.
with it. Yeah, I'm
That's good.
doubling down.
Okay.
It's so good.
I learned that term.
Double down.
Double down. We asked everyone on the Derby, and we like to play the kips back if anyone wins. So everyone's kind of saying Epicenter, so it'll be good.
All right.
Fabulous.
Sarah,
Well,
you get
thank
to
you.
go.
Oh, where can everyone find you
Yeah.
on socials?
Oh my gosh, find me at Tall Glass of Klein, Cline, on TikTok and Instagram. Come hang out.
Fabulous. Thank
All right,
you
thank
so
you, Sarah.
much. It'll be good.
Alrighty. Bram, you can come back on the show now.
Just mind your notes. Just mind your notes. Yeah, I feel like this book is just woo. Yeah.
With all of those speed horses that I told you in Invicta,
Ooh, Tyler Gaffleone on B-Hawk.
I'm just
My
boxing
BFF.
all the speed horses. So originally I was going to bet Ethereal Road here,
Okay.
but because speed is so good, I'm just boxing speed, and
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
So talk to me a little bit about the speed. So no one coming into Preakness knew this would be a speed track, or this is just
So the way it goes
Today.
every year, it seems, this happens. There are all sorts of theories as to why it happens or whatever else, but essentially you see
it happens at Preakness or happens?
It happens at Triple Crown races. So like big days, it happens. Let me see, can we get this bet in? Hold on, that's what I'm distracted. Let me get this in. Hold on. Oh, all right, I got to deposit more. So it happens at the Triple Crown races, Derby, Preakness, Belmont. It happens at the Breeders' Cup. Speed is always good on the dirt. The inner lanes, they basically make the inner paths hard as a rock. So if they want to have fast times that they could point to and say, hey, look, this horse just set a record. Those are the theories. This horse just set a new record for the track or a new record for the stakes race.
So the one position is not bad here at the track.
Well, the inside is good as long as you get to the front. So you could be good on the inner part of the track, but if you have a horse that's in front of you and you can't get past them,
Yeah.
Listen,
what good is that?
keep in mind that before he just did that large explanation,
Yeah.
he explained he has no money in his account.
Yeah.
Okay? Live.
Easy.
Right? Yeah.
Easy for him to say, hold
Right.
on, he put a little money in.
I did. It was a light deposit. Here we go. Okay.
All right, you know what? I like the longest shot on the board to hit the board here.
Who's that?
7.
Oh
Good
my gosh,
skate.
I forgot we have this TV.
Good
guys.
skate.
Great
Good skate has a
setup
bit of
today
speed.
by
Good
America's
skate,
Best
has a bit of
Racing.
speed, is tough, hangs in there. We'll need to get up front, to
Good
your point, to
skate.
hang in there, but I bet hits the board, so you're going to get a price on this
Okay,
race. The horse I really loved got scratched, which was Brooklyn Diamonds. That's the one I actually liked in this race, but 25-1 is a nice price, not necessarily to win, but to hit the board and make a payoff for you today.
Something's telling me the two, Golden Eyes.
Speed.
Talk to me about Forrest Boyce, though. Not familiar.
Forrest Boyce
Yeah.
is a female jockey.
Love her. Even better.
Not what you would think hearing that name,
no,
right?
love it.
So she's been a local rider here in Maryland for, the past 12, 13. Win and she could jump up. She knows this track as well as anybody. She rides here. She's a local jockey, so she knows this track, and she's great. And she always gives you an honest ride. She's a very patient rider,
Right.
which maybe patience is not the best in a race where we
No.
want a lot of speed early. But she's on a horse who's stretching
Fast
out from a
horse.
shorter distance to a longer distance, and who could be up front. So we're gonna we'll watch this race. After this, who do we want to bring in? Steven. You guys want to flip for it? Who wants to go first? All right, Steven definitely wants to come in. All right, so we'll go to Steven. Let me go full screen on the jockey cam so you all
Have
can
you
see
had
this.
the Frosé?
The Frosé?
today?
I have not. Is it good?
Phenomenal, I will say. Not a massive drinker, but the Frosé. Maybe it's just because it's hot.
So
Yeah,
here's
frozen rosé.
Frosé.
It's frozen rosé. It is so bomb. If you guys ever
Hook it
come
up.
to Pimlico,
Let's go.
you need to have
Yeah.
some frosé.
Come on, JD. Where's the Frosé
your
at?
opportunity to grab another one is now. We'll bring Steven
Okay,
in.
great.
You go ahead and grab one.
I would love to just get some waters.
Waters
Oh,
in
here we go, and
here
we're
we go.
off. Oh my gosh, I just love having a TV in front of me.
Right?
Is everyone seeing this live at home or no?
Yeah. Wow. So I didn't think the 10 would be able to clear, but it looks like he's going out there. So. And Bram's 7 horse at a big price on the front is a little surprising too.
His only shot to
B-Hawk.
hit the board was to get out to the front, and he's
I
tough,
mean-
and he's going to hang in there. Will he hang in there enough with those favorites behind him? I don't know, but I love that he's up there.
I don't have 7-10. Did you bet this at least?
No,
Oh, jeez.
I also, like you, have no money in my account.
Good skate. Look at you. Good skate.
I
So
know what I'm
this-
talking about
The
sometimes.
5 position just never fails. I will say the 5 all day has just been hitting. It's just
Yeah.
a good starting position.
B-Dog should have been 5 lengths clear of all these horses. So I am not feeling great about my ticket right now. And I can tell you what, the way this has gone all day, this race is going to
Here we go,
end with
Golden
either 7 or
Eyes.
10 winning.
Golden Eyes is sneaking around the outside.
Am I going to be a genius here? Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, no one's
Did you say
closing
7
today.
and
There's
10?
no reason this horse can't just keep going. Nothing's closing.
Who's on the 2? Golden Eyes. Oh,
That's Forrest.
come on.
Yeah, you can't close from there.
No.
That's it.
That's it for Golden Eyes.
I think he gets enveloped here. But for 3/4 of this race, I
Oh
look
my
pretty smart.
gosh, who's the red jockey hat? Just squeezed through there.
So this is okay. So this is the first time we've
Oh
seen.
my God, the red jockey hat, they're coming. I can't
This is
see
the
the
first
numbers.
speed horse who hasn't won. This is going to be. The first horse today to win from off the pace in a dirt race. So maybe you have a little more hope for a pace battle that could lead to something else.
This is you have to get out to the front, and that's an unusual thing for him to do. Not to say it wouldn't be his game plan, but the fact that that just happened makes me think more and more and more. Epicenter does not need to think that way and can play his own race and probably win anyway. He's
Why has he not qualified for Preakness this time?
So it's not that they haven't qualified. I mean, to run in Preakness. They basically.
But this is more of a guarantee.
Yeah, this is lesser competition. They figured they want to put him in a spot where he could actually win. So he did run well.
If Rich Strike wasn't in there, he would have been right up there with Epicenter.
Go grab a Froze.
All
We're
right.
going to bring in Steve. Bring them back for us too if they're. Yeah, bring some Frozes. We got waters here. So yeah. So. Steven, welcome in.
Speaking from experience, the Frozes are delicious. I can say the Frozes are an absolute winner, yes.
All right, Stephen Whyno, Associated Press, covers all sports in this area, is also a extremely, how would you call, what's your level in terms of racing handicapping? Do you call yourself a learning pro?
Amateur handicapper.
Amateur
yes,
handicapper.
Yes. I'm no you in this.
Yeah.
But.
I'm having a great day, so this is the right time to be on. We're going to lean on your picks. And you do some stuff with Bram occasionally, too, right?
I work for Bram, yes. I do a hockey podcast.
I wouldn't go that far.
I work for Bram doing a hockey podcast, Capitals podcast, yes, with Carl Rosner, who played for the Caps for a bunch of years.
Whose season unceremoniously ended off of blown leads in 3 straight hockey games.
It's not like the Capitals are used to that at all, right?
No.
Like there's no history of the franchise that says they blow leads in games and series, no.
No,
nothing like that, right?
Alex Ovechkin should not be in Russia right now. He should be playing somebody.
He should be playing tonight, probably, at home, or tomorrow at home, yes.
Yeah.
That's quite the double. But again, like two road losses, so you're not counting a team out until something happens on the road.
It's the way they've lost. They've lost in the most sickening way. I mean, we were at the Mount Washington Tavern, the TAA kickoff party this week, and they're winning. He's giving me updates. I'm like working the door. I'm trying to like stay.
I'm just trying to give you score updates. Right?
He's giving me score updates. He's like, it's good. Heedle just scored. It's 1-0. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I didn't even let myself believe that the Rangers had a chance to win any games in Carolina. So then I start to believe. Then with 5 minutes left, I go up to the bar and I'm watching the last few minutes of this game, and I'm like, we're going to win this game. We're going to steal a game in Carolina. No, we're not going to steal a game in Carolina.
Then immediately Aho scores. Everything goes. Then overtime happens. Carolina.
You could actually use that word, by the way, on this show. You could use that word.
Everything went to hell for the Rangers because they didn't have a shot for the first 10 minutes of the third period. Hard to win like that.
Very hard to win with that. And then again, just last night's loss was pretty vicious as well. They just got outplayed, a shorthanded goal, basically doing them in. Anyway, I'll stop talking about the Rangers. Now you just got to give us your Stanley Cup winner at this point. We'll just go there.
The Stanley Cup winner is, Carolina Hurricanes.
Jeez, okay.
Carolina Hurricanes.
Give me Colorado Avalanche because the Stanley Cup winner.
Are you sure they're coming out of the series?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
I love St. Louis in that series.
Yeah, do you? All right.
I do.
I like Colorado to get out of the West, and Tampa Bay looks strong again, but it's 3 in a row, unbelievably rare. So I got a hard time, as good as they've been, seeing them even get through the next round, and whoever ends up with Colorado, I think is in big trouble. So that's what I say.
Whoever wins that Colorado St. Louis.
transition back to horse racing. We've talked about a couple different things this week. We were out here earlier this week. The horses were prepping and on the track in the morning. You did a really interesting interview with the trainer of Fenwick,
Kevin
which
McCaffin,
at the time, we're looking at 50-1 in the morning line of Fenwick. And we're like, hey, this will be a fun horse to try to squeeze into the exacta or trifecta for maybe some value. The horse is 7-1 last I checked. What the heck happened?
That's a great question. I guess everybody read my story, so thank you. Thank you for reading.
No one had heard of the horse before your story.
No, and so all of a sudden I think everybody did see the 50-1 and thought, oh, I mean, this happens before, and you look into it a little bit, and the trip in the bluegrass was a nightmare, and finishing last in that race was all that. But I mean, if you look at it, you're like, hey, this happened at 80-1. Mm-hmm. I think people thought something of that horse. I don't like Fenwick at 7. And Armagnac went way under bet.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do now?
I probably ignore Fenwick. Unless Fenwick is above 20-1, I'm not touching Fenwick in this race at all. But I mean, Epicenter, this is Epicenter's race, but I'm betting on Epicenter, the race falling apart for it.
Yeah.
Like my thought is, who picks up the pieces at that point? And early voting, I remember when Warwick got 6-1. He can do, that's nuts to me.
And given how the track is playing, I mean, with the exception of this race that we just saw right now, the Sir Barton, every horse who has gone to the lead today has stayed there. And not only that, the first two runners have finished first and second throughout the day on the dirt. So speaking of early voting, let's just real quick take a look back at the Wood Memorial when early voting was on the lead for most of the race.
They hit the top of the stretch. 3/4 went in 1:11-2. It is early voting, trying to take them wire to wire here. Early voting in front. Mo Donegal comes on through down on the inside to grab second. It is early voting in front. A challenge here from Mo Donegal. Early voting trying to hold on with a 16th to the finish. Mo Donegal bearing down on the outside. It's Mo Donegal and early voting, and it is Mo Donegal.
So that was early voting giving up the lead in the Wood Memorial. He went pretty easy there and had no pressure in that race and got passed by Mo Donegal, who came back to finish 5th in the Kentucky Derby. I don't know, does watching that race make you feel better or worse about early voting?
Better given kind of how the track is playing today, as you pointed out. But this is a horse who is one of the top 3 or 4 horses in this field, right? Like you want to throw Secret Oath in there. I'm not sure Secret Oath has the speed to handle the rest of these horses. So given the competition, I don't think early voting would have done well in the Derby the way it spaced out. As Xanda and Epicenter going out and having that kind of stretch duel, and then Rich Strike coming out of nowhere. But he fits in this field.
Yeah.
Like you look at everything early voting has done, and I don't know that there's a horse in this race who would pass him the way Mo Donegal did in the Wood.
2 weeks ago when I asked you what you thought of Mo Donegal, you told me you didn't like him regardless of his post position, and now you're telling me that the horse that came in second to him has a chance to win the Preakness against a clear favorite.
I'm not saying that. I'm not. I think he moves up, given the way the track is playing. I still think Epicenter wins. I think he won't fade as badly as I initially had in my mind playing this race through thought he might. I think he hangs in for a larger share, finishing second or third.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
The field is small. There are, no offense, Fenwick, 3 or 4 horses here that really, I don't think have a real legitimate shot, you know? So I think there's going to be a clear separation between the ones that have a real shot and don't. I expect a big gap in between them, and therefore, I agree with you. His only hope is to get out in the front, and if he does, and Epicenter isn't on his game today, maybe he gets loose and wins. I doubt that. In the end, though, how far back is he going to fall? Probably not off the board.
Right.
So I agree with you that he probably lands somewhere on there.
Yep. So look, Stephen, we told you we'd let you get. Last year we held you too late. You almost missed the Preakness.
I almost missed getting back over there. That would have been bad for me.
Well, today we'll let you get back. Stephen Whyno, Associated Press, here joining us for a couple minutes. We appreciate your time. The Carolina Hurricanes will win the Stanley Cup. You heard it here first.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, brother. All right. So as you see here, overhead view of a still very, very hot Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore. How do we want to do this? You want to jump? Yeah, let him jump in there. Yeah, you can jump in there. Yeah, go ahead. I'll go over there. Danielle will come here in the center. So still very warm. Danielle did not bring a frosé or waters for us. And Danielle, at any point, feel free to come back to the set. We invite you back to the set at any point. You can come back and be with Kurt. Kurt Rosner from Old Smoke is with us here. So how you doing? How did it go?
There's crazy lines. I couldn't get anything but a water.
Okay, and
But
we do
it's
have some
great.
water here. I told you
know.
just in case.
Just gonna hydrate.
That's
hydrate,
changed.
Hydrate.
Now it's water underneath.
We're growing
Hydrate,
up here,
hydrate.
Kurt. We're getting mature. We're
It's the
adults
heat.
now.
Nice shirt.
Oh, thank you very
Love
much.
it.
Tell us about the
It's
shirt.
almost like you're in merchandising.
I must be, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the Black Eyed Susan, which is obviously
Oh my God, I thought you were
the,
going to say
the
Black Eyed
rose.
Peas. I was like, hold on. Where am I? What's going on?
And you
Great.
know, it's funny, we can't get them here. So we partnered with First on this, and I think
Really?
they might have, I think they might have sold them out already.
Really?
Gone to all the gift shops, and I had a couple questions of, where'd you get that shirt?
Oh, yeah.
And I
Interesting.
said,
well, great.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
That's good. So we're off to the right start.
Are you guys into flowers or planting or gardening or any of that?
Not even close.
Yeah.
I'm not like into it. I've killed 3 cactuses at my house.
Oh.
Cactus is the hardest plant to kill. Why
So
do you ask?
I ask because I'm a new homeowner, and I did not realize this, but Black-Eyed Susans are, or they call them perennials, I guess. Does that sound right?
Yeah, year round.
You're
I know
asking
what that
the wrong
means.
person.
And what happens is every year they not only come back, but they spread and they take over like everything. So for those into gardening, I'm assuming I have some people who are empathetic here. I didn't know any of this stuff. This is all like,
Yeah.
you know, like weird
that's homeownership,
suburban
yeah.
stuff that I
Yeah.
didn't know anything about, having lived in the city my whole life. But yeah, apparently they pop up everywhere, and so now they're taking over everything. So.
Interesting. No, I kill cactus. Like my cactus lady is like, "What are you doing? Like you have to water it like once every 6 weeks." And
You
I've
live
killed
in Nashville,
3. I
though.
know.
That's a thing in Nashville?
Like yeah, you try to be like cute cowboy, like hillbilly, like I
Cowboy
don't know.
cactus?
In my head, like that's like cowboy. Yeah. The girls love it. The bachelorette parties love it. You know.
That's
great. Yeah. So who do you have today other than Epicenter? Are you going straight Epicenter?
I like Chad's horse.
You like what?
Early voting.
Early voting.
I love that horse.
I just watched that replay a few moments ago, so I'll ask you the same thing I asked the guys who were on. He couldn't hold the lead against Mo Donegal. Why do you think he could hold the lead against Epicenter?
Well, I wasn't prepared for that question.
We're hitting you hard here.
why you come on
so. What
these
I think
shows.
is, I think Chad's due for a big race.
Yeah.
I think they held him back for a reason.
Yeah.
And I've always told you this. I like a horse that's trending. So if you look at his numbers,
Uh-huh.
a horse that's trending in the right direction,
Yeah.
I'm all in on. And that has not a horse that's had 30 races.
Right.
A horse that's had 3 or 4 races that's trending, getting
Yeah.
better every time.
Yeah.
With a little bit of a layoff.
Speaking of horses who had about 30 races, I guess you don't love Secret Oath then. That's a lot of races there.
I don't like Secret Oath.
Yeah.
Really?
At all.
Yeah. 'Cause
Are you trying to
he's
get
sexist.
punched?
He's sexist.
No, I'm not.
He's
I'm
sexist.
not.
You've heard it here first, folks. I'm just kidding. I don't really.
Ouch.
I only am betting because it's the filly.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean-
I really don't think she has much of a chance.
I mean, this is what happened in the Derby. That's why everybody
Yeah.
bet the 80-1 horse because
Right.
it's just sentimental, right?
Gosh, I mean, it wasn't even the 81 horse wasn't even my pick. I went from simplification for
Did you?
my long shot. Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid. There were
So-
so many long shots in the Derby.
Did you see they did like a virtual test of the
I
race?
did see
Did you
that. What was early voting the winner?
Early voting was the winner.
Wait, what was
They
the?
did like a
Which I actually
simulated
didn't
race. Like it's-
How?
They just like computer technology. They simulated based on their races and how they think they're going to line up, and they figured early
Like an
voting.
algorithm?
Yeah,
Early
exactly.
voting, epicenter, which is exactly how I think it's going to go.
Yeah, I didn't.
But I've
think
been wrong
that-
every time. So
To begin the day, I thought there was no chance of that. Right now, I think there's a chance that we talked about the way the track is playing, with the exception of the race we just saw. Speed has been good. And the other speed horse we're not talking enough about is this one, Armagnac, and we're going to actually get a good price on that horse, the 7.
I mean, I could be talking into anything.
Yeah. How did
But-
Happy Jack do at the Derby?
Not well.
People were really high on him going
Well,
in.
again, that's to your point. People are betting on horses because they have Jack in their
Yeah.
name.
I'll take Happy Jack. Doug O'Neill is the greatest
He's a great guy.
I love that
Absolutely.
dude. So I'll be
Interesting.
fine with that. I'll bet Happy Jack.
Yeah.
I want to go back just real quick. We talked about fillies in this race. 6 times a filly has won the
Yeah.
Preakness. One of the most memorable happened in 2009. I want to take a look back at that one.
As the field turns for home, big drama running in second now. Moinet Bird looks for a way through, and he had to go way outside for it. Musket Man toward the inside. Rachel Alexandra's in front with 1 furlong to go. Musket Man moves to second. Moinet Bird is third on the outside. The filly trying to hold on. She's clear by 3. Moinet Bird runs at her late. Here's the winner, and the filly did it. Rachel Alexandra has defeated the Kentucky
That was the great Rachel Alexandra. Goosebumps for a lot of people who watch that replay time after time. And Kurt, you were just sharing some thoughts on her as well.
Yeah, so with all the shirts we make, that's still like, that's the gem that we've been trying to get. And I believe, I might be wrong about this, but Secretariat is still the most searched horse, and Rachel is second, but it's close.
Wow. So trying to get, like, can't get the licensing, or?
Yeah, you have to get, we don't do anything without permission, so.
Yeah, unlike us. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. We want to make sure we're
unlike my
all
socials, yeah. Yes,
no,
okay, great.
We do a lot of stuff. We make sure everything is on the up and up here. Come on. You've
That's
worked with
true.
us long
No,
enough.
I was more talking about, like, my Twitter.
Oh,
personal
gotcha.
account. And for anyone that ever needs, like, a really fun birthday gift or, like, bachelorette, bachelor party, whatever, the shirts that he makes are super funny. Like, there's this one that has, like, I'd hit that one, like the ticket.
I don't bet I win.
Yeah, like I don't bet I win. And then, there's just like so many funny little like t-shirt stuff that are good stocking stuffers. What's your website? We're not kicking you off yet.
It's oldsmokeclothing.com. That's also our Instagram.
Oldsmokeclothing.com.
And it's Old Smoke Co. on Twitter.
Yeah, really cute, super cute stuff. And a lot of times, like, girls don't know what to wear to a race, and they don't want to wear a dress and stuff. So if you throw on, like, that little shirt and, like, some shorts and tennis shoes, it's great for the infield.
Absolutely. No, they're really cool shirts. They're comfortable. They're light. Especially this time of year, I wish I was wearing one under this blazer.
I tell you, I've been saying it all day that the reason behind the short sleeve button-ups came to fruition today.
Yeah.
Like, this is why we made the shirts.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you're still in the paddock, right, with the collar.
Yeah.
But you're not sweating. Your short sleeve, it's lightweight.
Well, I was jealous of him at the Derby wearing this, but oh my gosh, now it's not too bad. At least now, yeah.
There's a really funny thing happening. Every time you turn to one of our guests, like turn slightly, I could see the guest through this thing. What do you call this area? Through this area is how I'm looking at every guest.
The lapel of the hat?
Whatever this
like
clear.
I do feel like we've done a little bit of
I didn't realize. Yeah, let's
you're
go,
good.
guys. Well, I'm looking at the live stream, and this is just like.
So I gotta give a plug if I can.
Yeah.
So, Always Be Racing. ABR shirts are coming, right?
I've heard a little rumor about this. So what can you tell us about that?
They're coming soon. Always Be Racing is kind of a bit of a catchy.
There we go.
And ABR just happens to be the coming soon.
Interesting.
With
okay.
hats. With hats.
Oh, with hats. I'll take a hat. Love it.
So we'll check it out. We'll check it out on the website. You're going to drop it on social. Where do people follow you on social? Old Smoke Clothing Co. on
Old Smoke Clothing Co. is Twitter, and then Old Smoke Clothing is Instagram.
Awesome.
Fabulous.
Awesome. All right, Kurt Rosner, we're going to let you get back to the party.
I got to bet.
The music is blaring out there now.
I know. Can they hear the music at home? Like, are we loud audio, or can they hear it? It's so loud.
Oh, they hear it.
There's been two beat
Marshmallow.
changes in the last 7 hours. It's been two beats. That's it.
Yeah, it's Marshmallow.
Is it Marshmallow?
Yeah, last year I missed 2 Chainz while I was live. I was very salty.
Oh.
But, it's just beating. And along with my heat headache, it's just great.
Oh, you have a heat headache?
Just a little. I think I'm just, like, going to have a little drink of this water.
Grab your water.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
I am
you.
disappointed that it's waters now. We have changed. We've come a long way. Great seeing you guys.
The line was just too long.
All right, good seeing you. Kurt Rosner there from Old Smoke. Our next guest coming in here is a guest that we hosted a full show with back.
Yes, he got to hear me
couple
complain
weeks ago
for 3 weeks.
in the Kentucky Derby.
2 weeks ago for 3 hours.
Peter Thomas Fornatale, author, podcaster, handicapper, everything, joining us again. Excited to have you back here on the set for ABR Live. This is the pregame show. And Pete, how's your day going today? You making some money?
We're hanging in there.
Okay.
We're not making money, but we haven't thrown in the towel just yet. There's some live wagers. There's a couple of really good races to come, and I'm really happy to be here with you in this sunny day.
Yes. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And the lights. We have these big stage lights here. It's just good for the sweats. It just makes you extra glistening today.
So we promised we would talk a little bit about some of the other races, and one of the big races coming up is the big race before the Preakness. It's the Jim McKay Turf Sprint. We do have the jockey cam.
Now, how long are we talking since this is a sprint?
So it's only 5 furlongs, so that's 5/8 of a mile. So
as short as they run here.
Yep, absolutely. So it's a short race. It'll be over quick. You can either make money quick or you can lose money quick. Help us make money quick, Pete.
I wish I could come here and give you some exciting price horse in the Jim McKay Turf Sprint, but the reality is I think that Karatari, the favorite, is the horse that is the most likely to win. I think he's the best speed from the inside, and I haven't seen a tote board, but I would imagine this horse is going to be something in the vicinity. Oh, there it is, 9-5. I'll tell you what, that's okay. The market has it about right. The number 3, 7 cents, does look like the main alternative. What I'm going to do, though, is because I have a strong opinion in the Preakness.
Okay.
I think
we want to hear that in a minute.
Yeah, let's talk. Epicenter looks great to me. And from what I've seen from some of the other pools, he's going to be an okay price. He's going to be even money. This is a horse that I think would be typically shorter than that if this was just an average day of racing. But because it's the Preakness, we got a lot of people here. Half of them are here to see the concert. They're betting. We're going to get a little bit of juice in the price. And I think if we can get something like that on Epicenter, he's worth getting involved with. And we got a bet called the double, linking the winners of this race and the Preakness. So I'm going to play the 2 and the 3 here into the 8-runner Epicenter in the big one. And hopefully we'll get out and up and be ready to party tonight.
We got to get you into the doubles, Danielle.
I know. What do you mean?
The doubles. You like hitting pick sixes.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
not realistic, though, every time.
I know.
You got to do doubles. You got to pick 2 winners.
Like a little double.
Winner
All
of this race and the next race.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So if he gives you, he's saying Karatari he loves. He likes 7 cents a little bit.
Yeah.
And then with Epicenter, I mean, you got to hammer that unless you're going to throw in a long shot somewhere,
I guess. Like the 2 and Epicenter would be like a double, good daily double.
But you're not leaving Secret Oath off your ticket, so you're betting Secret Oath there anyway.
No, I could do like a double and then just do a win bet.
Separately on Secret Oath.
Yeah.
So you're just going to bet against yourself in the second race.
Yeah.
Okay, you're good with that.
Well, how could I box it? How could I box it?
It's hard. You can only include it if you feel good about it. But if you're doing it more, like if you're like, look, if your mind is telling you Epicenter is going to win, then you're good. And then you could just do a sentimental sort of bet on Secret Oath.
But
if that's
I
what you're
hate like betting on who everyone else at the track is betting on.
Well, you're right. I mean, typically speaking, the way to make money is to go against the grain. That's the problem with the situation. With my opinion, here, I'm kind of with the grain. But I will say this. I do think there are some favorites that, people are betting just because they're the favorite, etc. They're shorter than they should be. I don't think that's the case with Epicenter.
Yeah.
I legitimately think, even though he's going to be even money, I think that could represent value.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
I felt a little better watching that last race that at least it's possible maybe for a horse to make some sort of a move from off the pace. We hadn't seen it all day. I feel like hopefully maybe Epicenter, if he doesn't go to the lead, I don't see a scenario in which he doesn't win, because he either goes to the lead and he's the fastest horse and wires, or he sits just off early voting in Armagnac and just passes them. That's the way I see it. I mean, I don't see any other scenario.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think it's an ideal draw for him. I liken the outside post in a situation like this with a short field for the jockey. It's like sitting on the button in poker. The other people have to play their hand before you make your move. So if they're dilly-dallying, he'll go on with it. But if they want to go on a mission for the lead, he can sit just off. Either way, I think he gets the perfect trip, and it's going to be very tough to down.
I'm with you.
What are we thinking about Skippy Longstocking?
I'll tell you what, that's my long shot for underneath in the race.
Okay.
So I thought that previous race, that was the race that early voting was second to Mo Donegal. Mo Donegal came back and ran in the Derby. It didn't work out. He was my pick in the Derby. It didn't work out how I wanted it to, but I thought he had an excuse. He had to go very wide there. He didn't run that badly. And I'll tell you what, Skippy Longstocking, when I watched the tape of that race, he looked like a horse he had a tricky journey in there, and he looked like he was figuring things out. Actually, on the gallop out after the race, he passed the first 2.
Yeah.
I think he's getting better. He could be 20-1. I don't think he's good enough to win. But if you want to win, place, show, or use him underneath in a bet like the Exacta or Trifecta, I think there's a lot worse ways to play this year's Preakness if you're allergic to taking the even money on Epicenter.
We did talk a lot about Mo Donoghue and the Derby. So what, he's not showing today, back for Belmont?
Waiting for the Belmont. That trainer Todd Pletcher, generally speaking, like a lot of modern trainers, they don't want to run back in 2 weeks unless there's a really pressing reason, like winning the Kentucky Derby. So he'll probably come back there. I still think he could have some big wins with his name on it. Yeah,
and that's a good track for him, being a short track?
He is an interesting runner. He runs pretty well around he seems to run well around the wider turns that we have in the tracks in New York. So I'm hoping that at the 1.5 miles, he'll hopefully be able to get a little bit more involved early and not have to come from so far back, because that's a tough game. People think, oh, the Belmont's longer, it must be better for closers. Not necessarily true.
Look at like Danielle. We're not even done with the Preakness. You already jump into the Belmont.
No, I need to know. I need to
I
figure
mean,
it
come
out.
on. Let's see what happens.
It's so interesting, like how many horses just skipped today. You
Yeah,
know? Just
yeah. And
like,
look, it's kind of a unique year, but I mean, maybe this is something of a trend, especially in years when long shots. Now there was a long shot when we saw Rachel Alexandra. There was a long shot that won that year named Mind That Bird. Logically, that horse should have probably not run in the Preakness, but he almost won the race. So, what do we got behind us?
The fire.
Is there a fire? Oh, what's that smoke? There is smoke
When
in the
there's
distance.
smoke, there's fire.
Oh, boy.
Guys.
I heard that before.
This is a good time for me to get off the set.
That should be.
That's miles from here. We're fine.
And Pete.
And he wants you.
So what we're going to do is we're going to actually transition. This is
fabulous.
You're good where you are.
Okay.
Unless you want to leave. You trying to leave?
I just don't know why my phone's not charging.
Okay. So Danielle's going to stay on the set.
I'm going to stay on the
And
set.
then what's going to happen is Bram is going to come back in.
Great. I got to go get another frosé.
Get the frosé.
We'll do a little handoff.
Peter Thomas Fornatale, thank you so much for joining us, my man.
Cheers, my friend. Always great to see you guys.
Thank you,
And
brother.
let's do it again soon.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All right, so Bram is going to come back in, and then we're going to have a couple of guests come on.
to me, Bram.
with
Come
Bram.
to me, Bram.
So Danielle,
Oh
you'll
my God, it's all your stuff. Oh my gosh. It's
Bram
okay.
sheets are
You didn't
flying
know.
all over the place again. Bram, are we going to do Ian first?
Look at that beautiful manicured grass that you are looking at here. If you can
There it
see
is.
out of the corner, we're not sure where that smoke's coming from, ladies and gentlemen.
You do see the smoke there in the top right corner.
It really could be from anything.
Yeah, so Bram, is Ian first? Ian Rapoport is going to join the show now.
And we have about 24 minutes to post here for
That's
race number 12, which is going to be a sprint. So make sure to get your bets in.
What's up,
and
Ian?
hello.
What's up?
So I'm going to hit you with my hats.
I'm used
gonna.
to it.
I didn't
I'm
realize
used to
I'm
it.
gonna come back because I was in that interview. I was forward, and like the boys had to like try to fight for a way to get through here. But welcome to the race, right?
Thanks.
To your track.
Ian, we've been slowly turning you into a horse racing fan here over the last couple of years. So here you are. It's first time at the Preakness?
Yeah, this is the Rapoport Triple Crown.
Yes.
We've done all of them now. We've done the Derby a couple of times. We've done the Belmont. Finally, the Preakness, and it's been awesome. I mean, this was sort of, I always heard really good things about it, and the people, especially Baltimore-based people who went, spoke really highly of it.
Yeah.
So I was assumed it was really good, and it's been a fantastic.
I feel like this is kind of the fun track. I was saying, like the music is insane. The food. It's kind of a crazy mess in the infield.
Yeah, and plus, like where we are in the, in the Triple Crown, like sort of. I mean, Rich Strike obviously not here, but so much intrigue, so much
Still,
like anything could happen.
Yeah.
Still learning about these horses, a lot of things up in the air still. So like it's been really good.
Yeah, you walk around closely, you'll see a bunch of the Ravens walking around here. You'll see a bunch of Commanders walking around here. I mean,
Carson's here,
Yeah.
Harbaugh's here,
Yeah.
a bunch of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it is. In a weird sort of way. I mean, I know they're football and this is horse racing. Like, it feels like a little bit like they are home. Like, they all treat it, like Marlon Humphrey was tweeting about, being here. I mean, it's like this really is home for them. And, like, I think there is a reason that a lot of athletes like this. Like, it's high stakes. Racing, like, the actual, like, anatomy of a race is so fascinating, especially to really high-level athletes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which is why I think the actual Derby like took hold in the public so much because it was such an amazing race.
Yeah.
Just as a pure racing event.
Right.
Football players love this, and I think this is a perfect place for them here.
And more and more, guys are getting investing in it. Saw Tom Brady was doing a lot of it. Wes Welker was doing a lot in it. I think there's something intriguing about that to them as well.
A couple of my friends that play MLB, it was when I first got into this, they were like, I've always wanted to own a horse. I'm like, what? That's so random. They're like, I've always wanted to. We've looked into it. I'm like, interesting. So yeah, there's different facets of it. And I think there's so much like thought that goes into it, and like being able to have what jockeys on. We see a lot of times that the trainers will put a different jockey on a horse when they haven't been running the whole time. I'm like, that's horrible. It's like changing your quarterback up right before, and they've won all, the games before, like the drama that it could be.
Yeah, and that's all so interesting. That's why, like, talking about the Derby, like, it was a jockey that I don't think had won a Triple Crown race before, and, like, it was one of the most amazing races I've ever seen. And like, you know, but then you see today, like, you know, I think at least 2 jockeys have multiple wins today, right?
Yeah.
And like, there's something about experience and knowing how to handle like each specific race situation.
And each specific horse. Every horse is different.
Right. And so like for me, just specifically, like there's a lot that I like about racing, a lot that I like about horse racing, but just the really like very specific dynamics of like each individual race is so fun.
Yeah, and the Ortiz brothers just always winning, back-to-back winning multiple times a day, but each horse is different. It's very interesting.
We've got a weird year here too. Like we had an 80-1 horse win the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, last summer in August, I don't think anyone picked the Bengals to go to the Super Bowl. So we're having a weird year.
Yeah, and you know, the NFL is perfect for that because every year there's a couple teams that are like okay, but you could sort of see them take the next step and the next step, and then they really take the next step, and like you're like, okay, like this team has now arrived. And I think the Bengals were a great example. You know, this year I think the Chargers are probably a lot of people's pick to be that. You know, where like
good luck in that division.
Right, but like they kind of got everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they got Herbert, they got, I think, a much improved defense, they got a good offensive line, they got some weapons. Like, they're one of the teams I think people can say, like, all right, this is a team that I think could really make the big leap. Yeah, and that's, you know, and that's what's so fun about it is, like, one of the things I love is you go around to training camp, I go to like 20 teams, right? And everyone is so hopeful. And like some of those teams are going to have a quarterback injury. Some of those teams are going to be not good. Some of those teams are going to be really good and go deep in the playoffs. And like everyone's got a shot. And that's the best thing about the NFL.
This was a really weird offseason. High-profile receivers getting traded, quarterbacks being moved. One, do you think we're done with all of that? And two, did any of this catch you off guard that it was going to be like this offseason?
You know, I think, to me, like, first of all, are we done? I'd say, I think we got maybe one more trade in us. You know, I don't know if it's a high-profile receiver, but we got something. Maybe it's a quarterback trade. Maybe it's Baker. Maybe it's Garoppolo. I think we got one more good one in us. You know, I should have known. I think some of it kind of caught me off guard, but when Devontae, like, I sort of knew Devontae Adams wanted out before it really got out there. And I started thinking, like, if Devontae Adams, a good person, who's a baller, who has a team that wants to pay him, if he wants out, that really opens the door to a lot of different things. And then we saw Tyreek, and then Deebo Samuel, and AJ, and all these receivers have a voice and have a personality and want to put their stamp on things. And teams have learned, like, that's okay.
Yeah.
They can have a meaningful contribution to like where they end up, and that has changed the game dramatically.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Who you got in the Preakness? What do you like?
So I don't. It's not the favorite.
Okay.
Secret Oath, I feel like.
Oh my gosh.
You know, like the best way it was explained to me. One of my buddies is a handicapper. And the best way he explained it to me was the girl's gonna beat the boys.
Yeah.
And there hadn't been that many of them, not a lot of fillies.
Yeah.
But we were at Oaks, and she looked so strong.
So good, yeah.
So good.
We just played that clip on here. Just blew everyone out of the water.
And I was like, you know, like, who's that?
Yeah.
And so we'll see how it goes. I did not, obviously, the Derby, I was nowhere.
Yeah.
Nobody was anywhere on that one.
Yeah.
We were on Messier.
But it's
we were on Messier and Cyberknife, and neither came home.
But it's fun to be able to pick, if you're going to have a long shot, to pick a story and to pick something like Secret Oath. That's great.
And that would be a very
great
cool
story.
story.
Of course,
we'll see.
yeah.
That's what I'm banking on.
Amazing. And then what about the Super Bowl?
Oh God.
Too early?
Too early.
You know, too early maybe.
But imagine you got it right and we played the clip back.
I will say last year for the season, I was thinking Packers-Ravens.
Right.
Right? And Ravens dealt with a ton of injuries. Packers obviously lost early. And I haven't really seen anything that would change my mind. Like, both teams are still really good. Both teams had a really good offseason.
Interesting.
I'll go with Packers-Ravens. I feel okay with that one.
All right, how about this? I'll give you a hot take. Chiefs don't make the playoffs.
No, that's crazy. Crazy. The Chiefs lost Tyreek, and he's awesome. Awesome. But the best thing
Did
about...
not improve their defense.
They spent some draft capital on their defense. They lost the Honey Badger. Obviously, they got Justin Reed, who's not as good, but younger and will be dynamic in his own way. Andy Reid has a way of taking the team that he has and being like, all right, here are my players. I'm going to engineer the play calling this way, and I'm going to change my team, and this is what we're going to be. And so no Tyreek, yes, it's a major deal, but like I think they're going to be okay, and I think they're going to be a playoff team and probably really, really good again.
Why do you say that?
I think they're in the toughest division in football.
Yeah.
I think
no argument there.
You can make a argument for any of the 4 teams to win it, which means they could be staring down wild card at best this year. The AFC is far deeper than the NFC. The schedules are much harder, and I don't think their defense is good enough.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think they're going to run into a tough situation this year where second place for them is the bar just to get in, and they might not get to that.
Yeah.
I think they're in a tough spot this year. That's what I think.
And see, even like you can't see it at home, but we just have people yell, and we're like, Ravens 13 wins this year, and it's that hype that you feel at the beginning of a season when everyone's fresh, you believe in your team, and I feel like that is what the Preakness feels like today because Rich Strike isn't here, so it's really like anyone can win.
That's the best thing, and that's why like one thing I love is to talk to these different experts or handicappers, and they've done so much research and they're so invested and they know what is going to happen. And they're all different.
Yeah.
And they're all different.
Yeah, very
and
interesting.
I don't know. This is the best. I'm so excited for this race. I wish it started already.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like say we're at the Derby, and when big events come, I always make sure to take a minute to like breathe and look around, right? And so the 2 minutes before the Derby, and like you remember, like it took to get them all in the gate took a while. I don't know if you remember, like it was intense. It was really intense, and I was here for all of that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that. My mom, like before every WrestleMania, my mom would tell me, she would be like, go inside and you have to like take a moment. I'm like, okay. Hi guys. Hi.
What's up, guys?
Come on over here. Who do we got? What's y'all's names?
Max.
Here, scoot over here so you can be on camera more.
Ian, are you heading down a media path or no?
What's your name?
Jude. Like hey Jude.
I love that. And how old are y'all?
8, almost 9. 7.
7 and 9.
And tell us who's been the big winner today.
Oh.
And who won the last race?
You won the last race?
They've won a couple of them.
That's cool. Do you think it's fun here?
Yep, definitely.
Are there a bunch of funny hats?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Me and him had a contest of who can find the funniest hat.
Yeah. Is mine up there? Yeah, mine's big. If you were to take this off my head right now, I would have the sweatiest head ever. Not cute. Well, fabulous. Thanks, guys. And just wave at home. You can say, catch me at school. You're the coolest kids on school now. You've been on TV. Yeah.
The horse we think will win on the 13th will be Secret Oath.
Secret Oath. Oh, you've heard it here first.
I think Epicenter.
Oh, Epicenter. See? Already disagreeing. It's like my sister and I love that. Secret Oath,
What
Epicenter.
grades are they in?
Third and first.
Third and first. Do any of your friends ask you for inside information about the NFL?
No. Not yet.
Yeah.
That will come. That will come.
Yeah. And you know what?
Fabulous.
Normally, like, I say it's a dangerous path to go into the media.
Yeah.
But this year, when broadcasters are getting 20, 30 million a year,
Oh, yeah.
let's go.
Bring it on.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
Bring it on. I love it.
Very cool. Well, thanks, guys. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having
Thanks,
me. This
guys.
was awesome as usual.
Yes,
So psyched for the
guys.
race.
So
Thanks.
much fun.
Thanks, Ian.
Enjoy the race.
Thanks, guys.
See, those are 2 of our votes, too. Epicenter and Secret Oath.
Secret Oath, huh?
There. We're about 11 minutes to post for race 12. So, go? Okay, yeah, great.
Here for Danielle. Little phone charge break for Danielle.
Dan, so when Tom Brady got that contract, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, did you ask for more money from America's Best Racing?
Me or Danielle?
How did you feel about the broadcasting explosion in
I
salary?
saw Danielle's reaction to those numbers you said, and it made me think, oh God, Danielle's thinking I'm not asking for nearly enough for America's Best
Nobody
Racing.
is anymore. Nobody is anymore.
Nobody is. And Bram's thinking the same thing as well.
Yeah.
So, well, we've got our next guest here. Super excited to welcome in head football coach of the University of South Carolina, Shane Beamer. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Preakness.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys having me on. It's great to be with you.
So, first Preakness?
First Preakness. I've been to a Kentucky Derby before. Never been up here. This is awesome. Having a great time. It's great hanging out with Ian. I've known Ian since the early 2000s when he was covering Mississippi State University football, and I was an assistant coach at Mississippi State. So it's been great catching back up with him and watching some horse racing and being with Stephen Panis and some great friends.
How is this the first time? I mean, this was kind of Virginia Tech country for all those years. There's good football players up here.
There is.
How did Frank not pop up at the Preakness every
Poor
once in a while?
planning. I don't know what happened. Like I'm wondering the same thing, to be honest with you, as close as this is to Virginia Tech. But so we've better late than never.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can continue or start to make this an annual deal.
Yeah.
Did you, we'll talk about racing first, just to get it out of the way, because we just talked about, we want everybody on the record about who they're betting.
Yeah.
So who do you like here in the Preakness? You got a top pick, or?
I'm studying the heck out of it right now. I got buddies that know that I'm at this race, so they're sending me all of their picks. Like
here they
right
are.
now, yeah, I know. Right now, I'm so I don't want to say overwhelmed, but my mind is cluttered right now, and I got about an hour here to figure it out.
Oh, you got time.
Yeah, but I will say this: most of the text messages I get are, "Hey, go put some money on Epicenter for me while you're there." So that seems to be the popular pick today.
He is the logical horse, and look, it's one of those things where he finished second in the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
The horse who won the Kentucky Derby is not here.
Right.
So logically, who should win this race? The horse who finished second.
Logically.
Yeah, logically.
I like reading about the backstories on the horses and the jockeys and all that.
Yeah.
So, I may come up with something out of left field here in a little bit and just go with my instincts. Ian's sons are having more luck than anybody right now today.
Always got to play kids picks.
Yeah, I'm really just going to go with what they tell me.
I think these events, they remind me a lot of game day in the SEC. Yeah. Honestly, when you go to these different places and it's kind of a festival like this. And so what are those days like for you now that you're in it? What are those days like?
Not like this, because I'm sitting in the hotel waiting to play and coach and nerves and all that. Here, this is fun. I mean, it's an all-day event and leading up to the big event here in a little bit. But those days are probably like these owners and jockeys and horses feel. You prepare all this time for us. It's 12 games a year, and then for these horses and everybody involved with them, it's 3 big ones a year. So it's just so much that leads into, for us, 4 quarters, for these guys, a quick race. But there's a lot of thought that goes into it, and it's a long day. I know that. It's a long day for everybody out here getting ready for this thing. It's a long day for people that have a major interest in these horses, and a long day for me when I'm coaching, getting ready for a game as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. The trainers, the horse trainers, are essentially the coaches, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones who, they put the horses through exercises and training in the morning, and they make sure they're on peak condition on game day, which is this.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of parallels.
Yeah.
I do want to share, while I have you on set, I got to share a little personal anecdote. So about, 15 years ago, I graduated from college. Well, no, I graduated much longer than that. But I ended up in the university in Columbia, and my wife had just graduated from the University of South Carolina. Yep. So we're a Gamecock family.
Yep.
And if I didn't ask you this question, my wife would be really upset. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. What can we expect this year? Come on, give us some realistic expectations for the upcoming season.
I'm excited. We got a great group of guys coming back. Year one last year was a lot of fun, going from 2 wins to 7 wins, and laid a good foundation, and that's just a start for us. Got a lot of great players coming back. We've added some really good players to the program, and our guys have really, really worked hard since they came back in January, and eager to get started with practice in August, and excited for the season. So how's that?
It's okay. It's okay. It's good. I wanted a little bit more, but that's okay.
I know you did.
This is clearly the most competitive college football league in the country. Yeah. What did you learn about coaching in it in the first year and actually doing it?
It's just that. I mean, it's such a every single week. It's a war every single week. And, you know, I've been in every conference, or the majority of the conferences. I've coached in the Big 12, I've coached in the ACC, and those are all great leagues, but there's nothing like the SEC and just the level of talent you see each and every week. But more importantly, just the fan bases and playing in front of 80, 90, 100,000 people every single Saturday. I mean, it's awesome. And as a competitor, you want to compete against the best. You want to be at the highest level, and we certainly are at South Carolina. And consider myself very blessed and grateful to be a part of this awesome league.
As someone who's been in that stadium a number of times, I mean, there's nothing like taking in a game, and especially a win, a big game at Williams-Brice. You did mention Stephen Panis a few moments ago, and I do want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about your connection with Stephen and his family. A couple of years ago, America's Best Racing, our family, suffered a big loss when Stephen's son passed away in August of 2020 in a very tragic accident. In the months since then, you know, Stephen has done what he can to honor Jake's memory, and what you've done to step up and support that has been absolutely incredible. It's meant a lot to all of us. Obviously, it's meant a lot to Stephen, but it's meant a lot to all of us.
Yeah.
You've never even met me, and it's meant a lot to me, so I want to thank you for that.
No, thank you for saying that.
Tell us a little bit about the scholarship program and kind of how it's set up and how you guys all got connected and decided to launch it.
Yeah, you know, didn't know Stephen when I got hired in December of 2020. I was coaching at Oklahoma and connected with Stephen right around Christmas of that year, right when I first got the job. And that just started the relationship that we continued to develop. And he started a scholarship that allows us to reward one of our football players on the team with a scholarship that honors, you know, Stephen's son and Stephen's entire family, and something that I'm very humbled and honored to be a part of. And since then, he's become a great friend. He's a great Gamecock. He knows everything about our football program. He knows everything about everybody we're recruiting. He knows more than I do, I think. Just some of the questions he's asking me today. But he's just so supportive of our program and everything that we're doing. He's become a great friend and so appreciative of him and his family, and have so much respect for him and what he's about and the way that he's everything that he's done since that tragic day that family went through.
If you ever leave South Carolina, he's going to want you to go coach the Saints. Okay? So I'm just telling you up front.
Got it.
He'll be very upset, but he'll be happy if you go to the New Orleans Saints.
Understood.
Okay.
I'll keep that in mind. I don't want to go anywhere, but I'll keep that in mind if we ever get that day for whatever reason.
That's good stuff. Yeah. So we can't get you on record with an actual horse, but you're saying Epicenter is the one you're hearing the most about. So I think that's the one
I'm saying all my buddies are texting me about Epicenter.
Okay.
You know, I think early voting's intriguing. I'm kind of intrigued by this Skippy Longstocking too. You know, I keep hearing.
All right. That's a long shot, so that's exciting.
It's
Coach Bieber likes weird names.
It's a very long shot. Yep. And simplification. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter that have told me simplification is the way to go as well.
So this is an interesting horse, and we've talked about it. So there are trends. Like I don't know if there's a good comparison to make with football, but some days these tracks, it will favor horses that go to the front, and some days it'll be fair. Horses coming from the back will do well. On a day like today, horses going to the front are doing well, so you wonder if, like, simplification usually comes from a little bit behind, might be able to do it, or Skippy Longstocking, he's one who comes from the back. So it's all part of this, you know, we all try to come up with the best possible theory we can in making a prediction. But as you know, the prediction game is a tough one.
No, you're right. That's good knowledge to know to follow away as well. I need to get back and start studying some more. So have y'all made your official picks, or is that like closer to the race when you do that?
I think I'm ready to go on record. You go first. Epicenter?
I like favorites.
Yeah.
And I think he's too dominant here.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the talent overwhelms the other side, even with the best planning, and that's what I see here.
I'm on Epicenter too,
Okay.
and I think like what I'd like to do is, you know, I don't know if you've gotten indoctrinated to the point where you're playing the exactas and trifectas, the combination bets, but if you're looking for the top two, to my eyes, I think you got to go with two speed horses, and so I think the other speed horses are Armagnac, the 7, and the 5 early voting. So I think I'm going to do an exacta with those horses, and hope I get the top two somehow.
Gotcha. Understood.
You know what?
It's fascinating. Like I I don't keep up with it much, but it's just so intriguing coming here and studying the numbers and studying horses and their history and all that as well.
You know,
it's pretty neat.
It's so crazy. Like 2 weeks ago, that was probably the most unusual result we've ever had in this sport. Was having a horse that wasn't even in the field, suddenly is put in, massive long shot, wins, right? You sit there all summer, you're putting in game plans, you're getting ready. Do you ever know what's going to happen on a Saturday when you go play a game?
No, because I think it's just so much, there's so much parity in college football. Every team gets 85 scholarships, and on any day, anybody can beat anybody. You know, so you prepare during the week, and you know who you're playing and what their strengths are and how they may try and attack you and things like that. So you try and have an idea of how this game's going to go and the other team's thought process and our thought process and strategy. But when the game starts, it's just you never know. It's you lock in for 3 hours and then pick your head up at the end of the game and hope you're successful.
Well, whatever you've been doing so far is great. We're super excited as a Gamecock family. We're excited, and we're excited also to have you a part of the ABR family and everything you've done with Steven and for us. So thank you so much for being a part of it.
I appreciate that. It's great to be on here with you guys today. Keep up the great work, and look me up when you're in Columbia.
Oh, we definitely will.
All right, thanks, guys.
You, Coach.
Appreciate it. Yep, thank y'all.
All right, Coach Shane Beamer taking a few minutes with us here. We really appreciate his time, and hopefully he can find that winner. He's going with Epicenter, I think. At the end of the day, Epicenter is where he's at.
Yeah.
And that was really great. And it was good to have him here because he's really done just a lot behind the scenes with Steven. And I can't say it enough. For us, like as a whole family, who you know, we're still really dealing with everything and processing everything that happened a couple of years ago. You know, just it means a lot to see somebody in his position to take the time out when he's got a million different things going on.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, it's also to your point of like thank him for doing what he's done for ABR and Steven. His family is extraordinarily popular in this region of the country, all the way down now to South Carolina, just for what his father Frank Beamer had done and what he had built in Virginia Tech.
Right.
So you know, I think everybody's rooting for him in a lot of ways. I don't want to veer too off course, but we're almost post time for the 12th race. You got anybody here, Dan?
I do.
Sprint.
I'm really in love. Let's go ahead and put this camera back up so we can watch some of the races here.
Sprint.
This is the Sprint, the Jim McKay Turf Sprint. I love the 6-horse, Smokin' Jay.
Yeah.
When Pete Fornatale was here, he mentioned that he loves Karatari, and he thought that Karatari, everything being equal, is the fastest and best horse in this race. Smokin' Jay finished just behind Karatari in his most recent, and he galloped out really well, which means at the end of the race he kind of finished strongly. He was still going. He wanted more action, and that was because he was kind of stuck behind horses, didn't get to run his race that day. So I love the 6 Smokin' Jay. You're getting 8-1 right now. I'm going to pop back on my phone and bet more money here as you guys tell me who you like.
I mean, I hate the odds for the 2 because that's who I want to go with, and they're just the best odds. But yeah, I like Karatari.
I like Karatari. I mean, it's 17 of 24. He hits the board.
Yeah.
The 6-5 number is not pleasant, so you want to try to beat him, right? I mean, 7 seats. It's
not ideal.
The 3-horse at 4-1 is decent value. It's really hit or miss. It'll either surge or fade. So it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard there to like be on that side, especially if you're going against Karatari. I do think the 5 Mr. Hustle is at least a good exotic value bet. On paper, he looks like a non-factor, but Irad jumps on him.
And Irad's been running amazing today.
Maker, different barn. I don't know. I got a funny feeling there. I mean, the number's not huge, but it's 7-1. It seems like there's some support for him. So maybe I'm on to something with the 5.
Yeah, I
Mr.
think
Hustle.
the 5. Mike Maker, you got Irad on there.
Yep. Mike Maker, I don't know if you all remember, last year we were doing the show, Mike Maker won like every race.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
he's
just
had
a
some
great
big weekends.
position, especially here on the grass.
Yeah, he is a grass trainer. He does really well on
I would
in
maybe
turf races.
box the 2 and the 5.
There you go, and then
That's
throw
right.
in my 6, because that's what I did.
All right, I'll just go straight up. Box 2, 5, and an exact to see if we can get lucky and get a 5-2 result.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, the grass is beautiful, I will say.
Let's see. So we're unmuting this, so hopefully you can hear the sound from the track a little bit. Greg could give us a signal if you're hearing track feed coming through. We'll know momentarily.
Unmute it so we can hear the jockey cams.
No track feed. So we could do the call ourselves. There you go.
And they're off.
Get us going, Dan.
Here we go. We have actually Mr. Hustle with a great break, but who is the lighter horse? Is that 7 Secrets?
That looks like Karatari on the lead.
Karatari.
On the inside.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, who is coming on the outside in
That's
the
the
blue?
9 horse. That is Hollis. So Hollis putting pressure on.
gosh,
Karatari is not getting
Hollis.
the lead that he would have liked to have gotten. So this is not a great start.
But
for
please remember that Irad likes to come last. You know, he likes to really
He
pull
got
around the
squeezed
corner.
at the start and got pushed back.
Yeah, he got pushed back.
The 5 furlong sprint's going to be hard to make that up.
Grateful Breed running a great race
He
so
is.
far.
All right, Karatari looks pretty good from where he's at right now. Here's my horse rolling on the outside. Smokin' Jay, come on with this 6. Just finished second, first or second. Come on, Smokin' Jay. Come on, Smokin' Jay. You can win this race. You can win this race. Come on, 6.
Smokin' Jay,
Come on, 6.
coming.
Come on, get second, get second, get second.
Come
get second,
on.
Get second,
Yeah,
get
he's
second,
got
get
it.
second.
He's got
Boom.
Oh, he's got it. Jose got that, I think.
Can we re-rack? Get second, get second, get second, get second?
Yeah.
No?
I needed that
Yeah.
2-6.
He likes
good,
it.
Dan.
I needed that 2-6.
You boxed a 2-6 in
I
your
did.
head, right? In your head.
No, I bet it on my phone.
Oh, you
just
did?
now.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I got a
Go
$10
ahead.
exacta.
All right.
I'm okay with that. That's a
Yeah.
good little way
pick
to
me
move
up?
into. Yeah, to take us into the next. So
2 wins for, I tell you, Luis Saez. But he's usually winning a lot.
yeah, well, you know who's riding the next race? Your girl.
Oh, well.
He's riding
I don't
Secret
know about a
Oath.
back-to-back win, though. I feel like that's a jinx.
No, he could do it.
You know?
Saez, he did get down the 6, right? The 6 did get.
I think the 6 got second. We'll see here. It's close.
Oh, it's not there. There it would have. Oh, it's close to. Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah, no, he had the momentum there. Yeah. Oh!
I think head bob, you got it. But
I
you
think
know,
head bob.
Oh,
Who
man.
was next to him?
The
whatever.
3,
You'll take a
7
dead
cents.
heat. You don't care.
I won't take a dead heat.
Yeah, you will.
I want to win.
Brad
You did win. 2-6.
I
You
want to win.
2 wins.
7 cents was the other horse that Pete Fornatale mentioned. So Pete dropped the mic here. He gave us 2 horses.
Is
They
this a
finished
French jockey?
Florent Giroux, he is, yeah.
My
That
grandma.
one, he was hit and miss. He's either surging or he's fading, and in this case, he surged. So he would have hit chalk. I mean, it was a decent number if he thought he was going to win. I wouldn't have supported him that way. There you go. You got it.
9
6.
to 1. That's
Look
not. I'll
at
take 9 to
you.
1 in
Go
second.
ahead.
It's a good number.
Right, not bad at
Smoke
all.
it, Jay. I mean, that wasn't,
So
Kelsey Danner, that wasn't one of my picks, I'll tell you. Good for you.
that was a replay win right there. Watching replays, sometimes you get these things. Tom Wall's got to come on.
Yeah.
I can happily step off. You know, do you want me to step off? You guys want to hang out for a minute?
Sure.
Talk to Tom Wall.
Whatever you like, Dan.
All right,
Sure.
Tom,
Hello,
you come
Tom
on in.
Wall.
Tom Wall's going to
It's
come
like Paul
in.
Wall.
You know Tom Wall. You met Tom
Yeah,
Wall.
yeah.
So Tom's
Sure.
going to do a little action with us here.
Oh, hello,
Tom,
Tom.
come on to
Come
the
on
set.
over.
Saratoga special. Here he is. Always drops the Preakness winner on us. Going to do it again.
Oh my gosh, here we go. He brought his own notes. That's how you know someone
guys.
means business. Hi.
What's up, Tom? How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm
Yeah,
awesome.
Happy
What could be better?
147th Preakness.
Yeah. Great to be here.
It's
How do you
cooled
feel
off.
about our Oaxaca weather going on
Man,
today?
you got some setup here.
Yeah.
Good thing the sun is finally
Yeah.
kind of went behind the clouds a little bit. The
Feels
fires
nice.
went out over there,
Yes.
so
And now you have the studio lights in your face.
well, I mean, it's a small. I'm only here for a small amount of time. You
Yes.
guys are here all day,
Yes.
Jim. So if you guys can handle it, I can handle
Oh my gosh, look at that jockey cam. Wouldn't you just get sick to your stomach? I would. I mean, that is insane just watching it like that.
Well, that's why we're up here talking about them
I
and
know.
not riding them, right?
So how have you done today? Have you been betting? Have you
Yeah,
had
bet a
anything
little
hit?
bit. Yeah, I've hit a little bit
A
too.
little bit? Okay, yeah. If you had lost all day, you would still tell us you've hit a little bit, no?
I'd be honest. I'd be
okay. That's good.
You got to save up on days like this. And
Yeah,
try
that's
to
true.
go for a few scores. You might.
What do they
have a
say
few
the
horses
putt
you like.
is at? Like, is it pretty high for the Preakness? Like, have a lot of people been
What the
betting?
handle is here? Not sure yet.
Total handle for the Preakness? Oh, I don't even know what the number is, but
Yeah.
it's huge.
Great.
It's one of the most bet races of the year.
Yeah.
Obviously the Derby itself is the highest
Yeah.
handle. The Preakness or Belmont's probably second. Breeders' Cup Classic maybe
Yeah.
third, and the other Breeders' Cup
And I
races.
think that's because people are so high off the Derby. They're like, anything can happen. I should throw something on there. Like, and it made
absolutely.
such mainstream sports. The Rich Strike. It's like, well, oh shoot, that's 2 weeks away. I got to bet.
Well,
so.
you look at the long shots on the morning line,
Yeah.
and the odds were, have been cut significantly on them because people are like, well, I'm betting that 50 to 1 long shot.
Yeah.
Fenwick earlier in the day is like 7 or 8 to 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it was before they sort of commingled the pools. They took the money from, all the other tracks that are around the country or
Yeah.
ADWs. But still,
Yeah.
for a horse
Well-
like that to get bet down from 50 to 1 to 7 to 1.
I look at that as good for me
Exactly.
Because
Oh, totally.
It's going to, if you're going to give me Epicenter at 2-1 or somehow better than that, that is a gift.
Yeah.
Right? He should be 3-5 today. He really should.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know what we're going to see his odds here in just a second when they actually open it up. And I mean, you're talking about a lot of money's probably coming into the pool between the 12th and the 13th race here today.
Yeah.
He's got everything going for him. He's got the controlling speed. He ran the good race in the Derby that you want to see. He sits right close to the pace, which has done well today on the dirt races. Always does well in a race like the Preakness.
Yeah.
I tell people, don't get too carried away watching the 6 furlong races, the mile and 16th races on the dirt here and think it's going to be exactly the same, because the mile and 3/16 makes it a lot different. Just like the Derby, the mile and a quarter makes it a lot different. And even, a mile and 1/8, like at say Saratoga, or even here, it's so much different than a mile and 16th. I know it's only a 16th of a mile. It's from here to, not even the concert stage. Well, that's pretty far, but
Yes.
we're not walking that. But
No.
distance is the greatest equalizer in racing, I think.
Is that why you think Rich Strike isn't here today? Oh my gosh, we haven't had our whole.
I was just going to bring it up.
We haven't had our whole fest over here about Rich
mean,
Strike.
So where are you on this? That he chose not to come, not an injury, chose
I
not
thought he
to
was
run
faking
in
an
it.
injury.
No,
So they just literally
they're just aiming for
chose?
the Belmont. They decided this was not in their training
At
schedule.
least lie,
and
right? Like,
I would have preferred it, honestly.
He breezed today at Churchill Downs. He breezed a half mile in 47, and it was the fastest half mile work of the day, which I just got the press release. And,
Yeah.
it's just a workout, so it's morning. It doesn't count. The afternoon is what counts. But I don't know. They can do whatever they want.
Sure.
I don't think anyone that owns horses owes anything to anybody except to their horses. Having said that, I mean, you're the Derby winner, and you have a chance to win the Triple Crown, and it's the Preakness. And I mean, isn't it really what you dream about, is to run in a race like that?
Right.
Having said that, I mean, they can go to the Belmont if they want.
Yeah.
It's going to be a different kettle of fish at Belmont than he got in the Derby. You're not going to have 2 jockeys from outside the U.S. absolutely going to the lead like they did and setting that pace, and that race fell apart completely. That's why you had 80 to 1-shot winner. I mean, look at the years we've had long shot winners of the Derby, or any race for that matter, and just look at how the race sort of sets up. And that's the way it's set up for them. Take nothing away from him. He won it fair and square. They run the race at 6:30 on the first Saturday of May. He won it. Fair and square, hats off to him. He won the Derby. But
for me, it's just like, even what you said too, when you're a new horse, you're fresh off that win. Any other sport, well, see, that's the thing. There's no other thing that compares to the Triple Crown, so it's like you can't even compare it. But fresh off of a Super Bowl winner, you come in and you get drafted, and you have a great draft, and you come in and you're like, oh, I'm just going to sit this one out. To me, it shows fear, and it just, like, it shows like you got punked out. Like, you're like, oh, I don't want people to think it's a fluke. I don't want people to think my Derby win a fluke. I'm just going to sit it out. It's money. If it's a business, you can't just, like, sit it out because you don't want to have a good showing. Like, when you play football, you can't go in scared, or else you're going to get your collarbone broken. And it's like, like, why come into something and say, oh, I don't know, we'll just wait. Who are you to just wait?
Well, and you use the word fluke, and I mean, people are like, oh, it's not a fluke, it's not a fluke. You're 80 to 1. Guess what? It was a fluke.
And many people have made an amazing career off of being a fluke, being the odd one out, being the underdog.
Absolutely.
Amazing careers, and completely turned it around.
The larger problem I have, I'm with you. They can do whatever they want. It's their horse, right? The larger problem here is, like, look around, okay? This isn't Tuesday at Pimlico on any other day. The rights for the Preakness are extraordinarily high because of the interest for the sport. They have a 5-week window where it's not people like me and you that are, P1 interested, and doesn't matter whether he races or not. I'm going to be interested either way. It's all the casual fans that you try to bring in.
Exactly.
And this decreases the value of it. This is bad for the sport.
Yeah.
And I know that there's no rule about it, but implicitly, if you win the Kentucky Derby,
you should have
you need to show up here.
Yeah, I agree.
You need to show up here, and to think that it's just okay to skip something like this, it's bad at large for horse racing as a sport, in my opinion.
Well, too, like with wrestling, you have baby faces and you have heels. Heels is a bad guy, baby face is a good guy. It's like, he's the baby face of the year. Like, he's the good guy of the year. Now not showing up here, I don't like him. Like, I don't want to, all the casual fans today, like my mom would have came here and gone, oh, I want to see a Triple Crown. Let me put money on him. Like, the race course loses out, Pimlico loses out, like
the ratings
racing.
lose out.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God, the
loses
viewers
out.
would have been blown out.
Well, look at it this way. I heard from so many people after the Derby that, I don't only interact with people that are involved in horse racing, like a lot of us,
Yeah.
I have casual friends that have no interest. Family members that are like, that was like the most exciting race I've ever seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Not only because of the way the race unfolded, but because of the winner. And they know nothing about the people at all. But they're like, these are like the little guys, the guys you never hear of. It was like a cool story. And then when they find out the horse isn't running, then it's like, then I have to like go on explanation mode of why he's not running again. And I agree.
I thought he was injured. I was like, is he injured? And they're like, no. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It just admits fault to me. Like, you have to be confident. You need to come in and go, yeah, that was my Derby. Watch this be my Triple Crown.
Yeah.
And if they don't, what if he came in second today? Third? Like,
there's no
just shows me
embarrassment
you're
in that.
scared.
Nobody.
Like, who cares? Yeah, it's great if you come in second.
Nobody likes the 2-week turnaround anymore. I mean, nobody does. There's none of these horses that race on a schedule like that. So I understand that and I get it. But it opens the door for, well, if this is going to become some kind of norm, then what? We have to stretch out the time between these races, and now you're getting away from the history of the sport.
Right.
So I don't know. Like implicitly, I think it's implied if you win the Kentucky Derby, as long as you're healthy, you will race for the good of the sport. And
agreed.
That's what really disappointed me about that decision.
To that same point, like, every year when something like this happens, when it's a singular horse or maybe a singular event that happens, we heard it not that long ago, California Chrome. They lost to a fresh horse. The owner said, we're never going to have a Triple Crown winner. They need to change the rules of the Triple Crown. You need to have to run in the other races to be able to run in the Belmont.
And then two happened.
It's crazy. And then 2015, American Pharoah won the Triple Crown. It's like, okay, we're not going to listen to that rube anymore. Like, stop.
Right.
So the Triple Crown's fine the way it is.
It's supposed to be hard.
If we start hearing like Todd Pletcher and Steve Asmussen and D. Wayne Lucas and Bob Baffert, all these guys that have had success in the races, the tradition of the race, that understand it, that respect it, that train for it, if they start calling for it to change, then maybe we change it. But until then, I don't even think you should consider it based on one horse, 1 year. So.
People have done it. That's why it doesn't happen every year. That's what makes it so coveted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have like the NBA Finals like 3 times during the year. They have it once.
Yeah.
Right?
Or like Duke played North Carolina in the Final Four. That's the biggest win they're going to have, Carolina beating them. So what if they just said, you know what, we don't need to play the national championship game. Why do we need to play Kansas?
That's right.
Well, because it's the national championship
right.
and this is the Preakness.
That's right.
Show up and run in it.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I was there for that game. Duke beating that, or Duke losing North Carolina.
Gosh, really?
It was awesome. The shade that the North Carolina fans were throwing at the Duke fans after
crazy.
walking the streets of New Orleans.
I'm from Raleigh.
Man, it was
crazy.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was great. And I don't like either team. So, but I
now,
don't know
when it comes to like odds with Belmont, because he didn't show up here, will that affect his odds at all? Because it's like, now we think he's maybe scared to run, or do they do it strictly on stats?
I think we got to see what the field is. How big is it? Who's in it with him, right? Who's in it? And then, secondarily, I think there will be a fluke factor. That when they put a morning, that's gonna be one of the most interesting morning line odd ever set on somebody.
Yeah.
Because I can make a case he should be 25 to 1, and depending on the field, I can make a case he should be 5 to 1. I think it's gonna be very difficult to know what they're gonna do with him.
And he will have the benefit now of 5 weeks rest, right? I mean, so you say, oh wow, he's had 5 weeks off. Theoretically, his connections say that they didn't want to race him too close together, so his best races have come with 5 weeks in between. But I'm like, you look at his form, what are his best races? I mean, obviously the Derby was his best race by a lot, but his other races weren't really that good. So, like I said, the race fell into his lap. He won it, but I mean, good luck. I mean, you're going to go to New York with a jockey that's never ridden in New York on a track that's very different than any other track, in a race that's a demanding 1.5 miles on a deep sandy racetrack. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. I'll tell you what, though, on the positive side of it, I keep thinking back to the movie made and honestly, that's one of the greatest moves I've ever seen in big-time sports. I mean, across the board. Across the board. That's Michael Jordan switching hands in the lane and putting a layup in. I mean, it was that unbelievable what he did.
deft. I mean, just amazing. A great ride, you know. Calvin Burrell-like ride on
and
the
just
rail.
even coming through, like, it was just
Courage.
really beautiful.
Great courage.
Have you seen the aerial shot
Yeah,
on
it's
NBC?
so awesome, right?
Oh,
I watched
it's
it like
so
6
good.
times that night, you know.
I've shown all my friends have never even watched racing, and they go, my friends, I have a lot of friends that are entrepreneurs, and their companies just got really hurt during COVID, and they've lost money, and I send that to them, like, inspirational. And I was like, he was 80-1. He was in the back in 3rd place. And my friend was like, I have goosebumps watching it. Never watched a horse race. So it's just good for business. And this is just a salty way to, like, kind of, I guess, tarnish that in a way. But people don't remember that. They'll remember years down the road a great win.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because, like, Pimlico, Baltimore, I felt like he was like the horse that's kind of like tailor-made for it.
Yeah.
A little blue-collary, you know, like I feel like the people here would have liked the horse. They get on board the Derby winner anyway, and it's kind of like the little guy, you know, I mean.
This has happened with Smarty Jones or Moinet Bird. There's been others that have, like,
Funny
where people, they get into it, and now all of a sudden, well, we're not showing up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, in the end, he'll go down as one of the most memorable, if not unlikely, Derby winners ever, and nothing will be taken away from him for that.
Yeah.
And people are going to forget this part, that he didn't show up here.
For sure.
I just know for the here and now, and for the good of the sport, this is not a good decision that was made, and there's nothing anybody can do about it, because there's literally nobody that oversees the whole thing and says, this is how this works, and if you don't want to show up to the Preakness, fine, you're ineligible for the Belmont then.
Yeah.
You know, where something has to happen to de-incentivize people from making a decision like that.
Well, it's another thing we keep saying, like, every now and then things will pop up where I go, that's why, to me, being new to horse racing, it is mind-boggling that there's no governing body over it. Even, like, just, a place where, like, even, like, all the riders have a, what do you call it, when they're all part of, not like a league,
like a committee?
Union.
Yeah.
Like, there's no even, like, union for them, like, or like an MBA or whatever it is, like a governing body.
Players union or,
no one's held accountable except for in certain areas. And you saw that last year with the positive drug testing and being banned only in certain locations. It's wild.
There is one way that these decisions could be altered, and it will come from the outside, which is the rights holders. If NBC or Fox or Apple or Google or whoever it may be that will air these races down the road, come to them and say, look, like, the deal is, this is worth this amount of money when the Kentucky Derby winner shows up, and if they can show metrically the engagement is down when he doesn't, therefore the overall value of the rights package alters by this, there will be an incentivization project to go back to them and say, you can't do this, you've got to show up. I know you think you're going to lose. For the good of the sport, you need to show up, and for all of our pockets. And this is where the Triple Crown races, I know they're all different entities. They need to get together and talk about this together so that the sanctity of the Triple Crown isn't threatened this way.
Totally.
You know?
And that was, I mean, depending on what happens in the NBA Finals and Super Bowl's not till next year, that can be top 5 greatest things to happen in sports this year for 2022.
That's right.
Was the Derby. So to your point that we won't remember he didn't show up today, we also probably wouldn't remember that he lost unless he got last place or something. It's just like, and it'll still be a top moment in sports, but yeah, like, showing up isn't the end of the world.
Big Brown is remembered as one of the great all-time horses. He was no-showed in the Belmont. Nobody remembers that.
No.
Right? You know,
Yeah.
Nobody remembers that.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he pulled up in the race and whatever, but
Yeah.
you remember his Derby, you remember his Preakness.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah.
you remember that.
But he competed.
Yeah.
He competed for it.
He was
and
there.
he also won from the 20 hole, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Did.
So for your Preakness, have we talked about this? Do you just have Epicenter, or
Yeah.
are you boxing? How are we betting?
He's the horse to beat. You know, I like simplification a little bit too.
Yeah, that was my long shot for the Derby.
Consistent.
Yeah.
A good long shot for the Derby.
Yeah.
Very good.
I
mean,
tried it.
he
Wrong
ran to
long
his
shot,
form.
but yeah, he was great.
Well, he ran to his form. He was
sure.
4th. He didn't get beat very far. His trainer's
What's
a pretty
his
savvy
odds
guy.
today?
He is, what number is he?
Right now he's
the
8
one.
to 1.
He's 8 to 1.
I mean,
Hit the
that's
one
a good
spot,
number.
though.
8 to 1's value.
That's good
A lot of
value.
people are saying
Yeah.
it's 7. Armagnac at 17
Maybe
one's a good
dress
value.
up, you get $20 for $2.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
it's
there's a
good bet.
couple of others here where I don't know how Fenwick is 8 to 1 or something like that. That's a really low number for a horse that feels very outside. That feels very Rich Strike, that people are thinking that's going to
He
happen
was
again.
21 to 1 in the
And
bluegrass.
Honestly, we're not 2 to 1, but 8 to 5 on Epicenter is still a pretty good deal.
That is a good value.
Yeah.
8 to 5.
Yes.
I mean, I saw earlier, 2-1 on another Asmussen horse that was running. I was like, well, that's great value.
Is
right
the
there.
8-5 based on how many people are betting him today at the race?
The odds change by the money that comes in.
So does that mean a lot of money's on Epicenter?
It means the money has started to come in because earlier today it had gone 2-1, which means it's now starting to go back to where I think we would have expected. He should be a heavy favorite here. But you know what? Yeah. But and I think he's going to be closer to even money when he goes off. But we'll see. You never know. If public money continues to go on some of these long shots and we have Rich Strike Fever out there, good for me. I'll be happy if it stays near 2-1.
Yeah.
Rich Strike Fever is a real thing. I mean, the 7 horse is the longest shot on the board. He's only 17-1.
I know.
Now, granted, the 9 horse field has a lot to do with that.
And there were so many horses over 20, 40 in the Derby, like at least 4 or 5. So that was really interesting.
Yeah, simplification was the cool one, right?
I think the one horse at 8-1 is very good value for him. He's a tough horse. He was way back in the field, made a good run there towards the end of the Derby. It is a quick turnaround for him, but on a short field that is not really deep with talent, that's a good number.
Yeah, the best value on the board, I think 1, 2, 9-1. I mean, he's right on his morning line. I think he ran a good race last time. He's running back. They're confident. They're running back in 2 weeks.
Right.
And then the 5, I think, early voting. I mean, he's a horse that has speed. Doesn't necessarily need to be on the lead. I'm not crazy about him myself from a I don't think he'll win, but if you like him, he's a good price. 6-1. If you liked him earlier in the week, you gotta love him now.
Yeah.
He's that bad. Friends of mine, I tell them, if your horse that you liked is not taking money, don't be afraid of that.
No, for sure.
That's just the public, right? You know, like a lot of times I think, well, I'm smarter than all the people in that tent over there.
Especially after all the
have to be,
drinks.
right?
Especially after all the frosé.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any drinks. Still if you liked him, I mean, 6-1's great value.
Yeah.
You know, half Jack, maybe to me, he's a little short at 8.
Yeah.
I don't like that. The 7, the guy at Ortiz, I mean, he's 17-1.
Yeah.
Maybe. You know, the 9s could be long second. Really not that great last time home and one in too.
Yeah.
So yeah, the long shot fever is
It feels like, to me, it really feels like this is, I mean, it's a 9 horse field. It really feels like a 5 horse field to me. In reality. And so, you know, if you look at it that way, then there's real value in any of those other ones that are legitimate. It's going to be really off. Otherwise, I'm sticking my guns here. I have a hard time seeing him lose. I mean, really hard time. And in fact, not only seeing him winning, going away. I mean, this feels like a 2-3 leg victory to me.
I think so. He did everything but Steve Asmussen said to one of my colleagues. He did everything in the Derby, you know, except win. I mean, a 10 pace, made his move, held off the late challenge, and horse came up the fence to beat him at 80-1. Yeah.
Great.
Throw your arms up, right? I mean,
Now we have you on camera, so we're going to hold you to it.
Epicenter.
Epicenter, here we go. What if Epicenter wins today and Belmont? Oh, people will be mad.
Yeah. Well,
don't
leave that right open next time.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, that's true. Well, thank you so much for coming by.
See you guys again.
Good luck tonight.
See you down the road.
Yes. We're going to bring Dan back in, and we have
Dan back on.
43 minutes.
Much better dressed. It's much smarter.
We have 43 minutes till
Let's see. Simplification 8-1, creative district 9-1, Fenwick, which is a morning line 51, is unbelievably 8-1 right now. Secret Oath sitting at 9-2, second choice of the bowl, early voting at 6-1, so bet down here. Happy Jack, another one, 30-1 down to 8-1. Armbiak's actually come up to one of the speed horses here, 17-1, feels like some value there. Epicenter sitting at 8-5, Skippy Longstocky Star is a 20-1 shot down to 9-1. It feels like the money's going in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
Some of these horses, there's Rich Strike Fever
It's
going on
everywhere.
right now.
Split everywhere. Evenly.
Oh, you want me to take it off?
I mean, now I had to shed it. I had to take
But
it off.
it's cute. The shorts is cute with the bow tie 'cause it's like nerdy.
My wife said I look like the Wendy's guy.
This is a look.
Do I look like the Wendy's guy?
Well,
What
I
do you
look
think?
like Wendy's.
The Wendy's guy in Wendy's.
Guys, now
Yeah,
we want.
this is one of the 3 days a year I have a look. I'm
Oh, yeah, look. Okay.
So
Give the man his look.
I've got some good news.
Oh.
You guys get one more break. And then we're going to come back. We've got 2 minutes to post. We've got 2 weeks going to come on right there. Those two gentlemen, they're going to come on. They're going to talk about Aftercare. So we're going to talk about Aftercare. We always talk about, what happens to the horses when they're done racing. People are going to tell us about exactly what happened and what they're doing and the commitment they're making to make sure that they have good lives after the race. So, go get some water. Last chance to rush. Go get the jacket.
I'm going to drink. Do you want a drink?
I'll take a drink.
What would you like?
The Ciroc stand here is amazing. If you get one of the Ciroc drinks, I would love that.
Any of them?
Any of them.
Fruitier the better?
The fruitier the peanut butter is great.
Oh,
Who's that?
all right then.
No, still here. It's definitely still here.
Dan likes umbrellas in his drinks.
All right.
That's why he doesn't wear a
All right.
jacket.
Take the jacket off.
Okay.
Take the jacket off. So Bram and Danielle will be back in a few moments. We're also going to show you the Preakness Stakes. You obviously want to stay here and watch the Preakness with us. Preakness Stakes coming at 7:01 Eastern Time here on the East Coast. You're taking a look at some shots around the infield here at Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore. It's hot, but we have caught a little bit of a breeze here in the last, 20, 30 minutes or so, so it's not as bad as it was a little bit earlier. The two gentlemen next to me now have jackets on, so I feel really silly that I just took mine off. But I respect the professionalism, guys. Brendan Perry from Paragon Farms, owner, and Jeff Bloom, who knew from recent trials, zero tribulations for Midnight Bizou, who went on a spectacular run a couple of years ago, Bloom Racing. Happy to have you both with us. And I was telling the people who are watching, this is a discussion about not exactly the horses who are running today, but what happens when the horses are done with the racetrack. And so for a lot of the viewers who watch, they ask that question all the time. So what happens to them? There are organizations like the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance that make sure that they are taken care of. So let's start with you, Jeff. You are very active with the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. You're a board member, is that correct?
The president this year. This is my first year.
President. So we've got the main guy.
The jacket.
There you go. There you go.
Amazing.
So tell what the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance does.
So really, the two main things that we do at TAA is provide governance. We have a very sophisticated accreditation program, essentially certifying the aftercare facilities across the country, making sure that they're complying with a very strict set of requirements to make sure that our off-the-track thoroughbreds are going to a safe environment. So that's the main thing, is the governance, and then ultimately distributing funding to those various facilities, the 80-plus facilities across the country, providing an equitable distribution. And in that process, all while continuing to raise funds so that we can do that.
Okay, so there are about 85 or 83, something in that range, correct?
Yes.
Facilities around the country, and these, anyone could pop up, and say, hey, let's take in horses. You got to make sure that they've got all the amenities, right? They got to be able to actually care for this horse coming off the track.
Yeah, there's a variety of requirements for various situations. So some horses come off the racetrack and they're good to go. They're done racing. That can be repurposed or retrained for polo, for dressage. They're in good shape. Other horses, not so much. They need time or just sanctuary in general. So there's a variety of aftercare facilities that cover the full spectrum. And it's important that, we have the assurance that these facilities have the resources and the protocols in place to make sure that the safety and welfare of these horses are being looked after.
So we know that the process of funding the TAA and these facilities, it's a grind, right? I mean, the money doesn't just funnel in from everywhere. There's a lot of outreach. There's a lot of events, like the one we had Wednesday night here, America's Best Racing hosted at the Mount Washington Tavern in partnership with the TAA, which you were at. Thank you for bidding high on a lot of those items. We appreciate that. But it also comes from the goodwill of people who just care about this sport and the horses themselves, and that's where you come in, Brendan. Paragon Farms, you were under no obligation to do what you did the other day, but you've committed $100,000 for the next 3 years to the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. So thank you for that, and just tell us about that commitment.
Well, my wife and I, with Paragon Farms, we had, in the past, we've had Thoroughbred Farms in Lexington, Kentucky, and also Florida. Recently in Lexington, we actually sold everything in about 2014 or 15 for various reasons, but the main reason is we had some family health issues where, we were in Lexington and all of our families were in Florida, and we needed to make a decision that was best for our family. So in order to do that, we sold everything lock, stock, and barrel and moved back to Florida to take care of our family. So although currently we don't have a farm and take care of our horses as we used to. We had 250 acres, 125 horses. We had racing partnerships and pin hooking, so we were in all aspects of it. But we do own bits and pieces of some horses now. Nothing that I physically got to go stalls and feed every day. In lieu of that, one way we can give back is in this way, and that's to donate money to various charities. And obviously, we like what the TAA does in rehoming, retraining, repurposing these horses that need aftercare. And so we're very fortunate to do that. And actually in Ocala, there's one of those accredited facilities was the Stephanie Brennan, which we know very well from the 2-year-old side. And we go out there quite a bit and see the horses that she has, and so we're very fortunate that they do what they do, and we're happy to help.
Yeah. So we've got the Preakness. It's 36 minutes away, and a lot of the people watching are watching specifically to watch the Preakness. So they're hearing now about, what are they talking about? They're talking about taking care of horses once they're retired and all that. Just, again, emphasize why it is that you decided to do what you did, and showing this 35 minutes before one of the biggest races of the year, because we think it's important for people to know what it is that compelled you to say, this is the amount of money, $300,000, this is what we're doing.
Well, I don't certainly expect everyone to donate $300,000, but, I'm sure, as Jeff can tell you, every little bit helps. There's, I think, 82 or 83 accredited facilities around the country. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that, I want to take one of those in and help. But, they have to go through an accreditation process, which is extremely important, that they know that when these horses go up the track, that they're cared for properly. And I think that's very important. So, whether it's maybe lending time to some of these facilities across the country, if you can't donate money, every little bit helps. And like I said, we're happy to do it. And hopefully you can do that. Or even charity events across the country that they hold.
Absolutely. If you're watching this show, TB Aftercare is handle on all the social media channels. You can look up Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. Just Google them, look them up. They're everywhere, and they've been doing great work for the past decade now.
10 years. Yeah.
10 years. As the president, Jeff, when you heard about this, what would that reaction to that?
No words. It's just such a wonderful thing, that Brandon and Diana did for us, and the fact, that they recognize the significance and importance, and their donation is going to go a long way, and it's not just the monetary part of it. It's their commitment and support that they provide, and spreading the word. We were thrilled, obviously, and it's much appreciated, and we hope to continue to raise more awareness, and really, at the end of the day, it's an obligation for all stakeholders through the industry. We all participate in this game to the just thoroughbreds that are involved, and so I think more than anything else, now people really throughout the industry realize that this is something that's of significance. It's an important aspect of this whole horse racing industry, and this was just a huge bump for us, and it's like I said, no words. We can't thank them enough, and it'll go a long way.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely awesome. And the other night we raised money at the party, not nearly as much as you're doing.
I bought some stuff too. I ate it in that.
Yeah,
as well.
so it's more than just the commitment. You're doing this beyond what your commitment is. You're actually there boosting some of those silent auction items, which we appreciated. And just knowing Stacy Clark, who we work with, we worked with the past several years trying to raise awareness around Thoroughbred Aftercare and second careers, it means a whole lot. And so, as far as what I do, I do marketing for racing, and I can't market horse racing if I don't have an answer to the question of what happens to the horses once they're off the racetrack. So you guys give me a thing to point to, and I say, look what these people are doing.
I think the statistics written in here, I think almost 15,000 horses today that they've assisted in the process, which is an amazing number.
Yeah. So we remain 32 minutes away from the Preakness. We're going to show you that race live. We actually can do a little bit of split screen here to show you jockey cam, I guess, being positioned, and some of the anchors on set, Ron Nicoletti, Kelly Francois, doing some last-minute analysis here. We're looking at the live odds for the Preakness Stakes. So we are, let's see, 32 minutes to post. Audio completely gone, guys? Audio is totally gone? Okay, all right. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back right after this. All right, we are back live. What in the world is that?
Guys, we've had a fire. Now we're having sound from the main stage.
That's amazing. This is actually amazing. I love
Wi-Fi
that.
has gone down.
I love that.
Wait,
did we do that?
Did we do that? It was right when we went up.
It could have been us. Maybe we triggered that. I love that.
I love how clear our stream is right now. It's the nicest Dan's ever looked.
Oh, what is up with you? You're throwing so much shade at me today. Come on now.
Wait, you're not the Wendy's guy anymore.
I'm
you
not.
put your
I just had to
jacket
put it back on. I just had to toughen up a little bit. If Bram could do it, I could do it. Bram bought me a drink here. Thank you.
Yeah, we all little drink. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to the
Happy Preakness.
147th Preakness with no Wi-Fi.
No
With
Wi-Fi.
Am
I allowed to? Oh.
Are we on?
We're on.
Ignore that.
We are on
Ignore
every
that.
time.
So what
Okay,
do we-
guys, we got 25 minutes till the 147th Preakness.
Am I allowed to smoke a cigar while we're on set?
I think
or
you
no?
could. Yeah, there's
They're
no rules here.
sponsored. They're
Are there rules?
sponsored.
Well, we had a fire out back. We have another thing that's about to blow up next to
Yeah.
us.
Uh-huh.
We've lost internet, so I think you should go for it. And then look,
Taking
this is
your
what I'm gonna do.
permission.
What else could happen? We burned the set down. Who knows?
We
You
got to
know?
make a tradition. We all play a bet together, right?
Fine.
So
Oh,
let's
yeah.
do this. I want one horse from each of you.
Are we doing a trifecta?
I was going to do an exacta, but if you want to do a trifecta, I could be convinced.
Now let's tell the people at home, what is a trifecta?
So trifecta is when you're picking the top 3 finishers.
Right.
If you box them, they can
Yeah.
come in any order. If you don't box them, they just finished 1, 2, 3. You bet them straight. But we're going to box them, right? We want them to come any
Yeah,
order.
Box them.
Bram's cutting his cigar.
Cutting his
So let's do
cigar.
that. Let's play a trifecta for starters.
Yeah.
Danielle,
Yes.
who needs to be in this trifecta?
Okay. For
I mean,
my
listen, I want epicenter. Go
yeah,
ahead.
so
Next.
let's just go ahead and epicenter it, obviously.
What are we doing here? Are we boxing this, or what are we
We're
doing?
gonna box
Or do we
it.
want to just put epicenter in first? Do you want to put epicenter and then put horses behind epicenter? I think.
Listen, that's up to you.
I'm
Okay,
good with that.
Dan. You know that I defer to you on the final
Would that
bet.
be less money?
It'll be less money. It's the smarter way. We're focusing our bet. We're saying we all agree epicenter is probably going to win.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go. Epicenter first.
I-
What do you want to put in the second spot?
Simplification?
I agree.
Simplification's in the
But
second
I hate
spot.
the one spot. I hate the one spot. What are our thoughts?
No, he's going
Breakaway?
to. No, I think he's going to save ground. He's going to be on the rail, and I think if the pace is hot enough,
Yeah.
he's going to make a little sneaky move up the rail, and he's
Yeah.
going to probably hit the board.
Remember last year, Drop It Like It's Hot? What was his name?
Who's that?
The
Hot Rod
horse-
Charlie.
No, but it was like, oh yeah, Hot Rod Charlie.
Or Mandaloon?
You're thinking of a different party.
I just remember last year. Okay, so we got epicenter, simplification, and who are you gonna round it out for us?
So we got epicenter, simplification.
Oh, the jockeys are making their way. My
I want to add.
faves.
I'm going to add the speed horses behind early voting and Armagnac because I don't think that the speed horses are going to fade that badly.
Love early voting.
But the question is now.
Wait, are we putting simplification at second, or are we boxing the 2 and 3?
So what we're doing is so simplification can now finish second or third.
Okay, great.
I mean, if we're going this route, are we doing a super now?
That's
Well,
what
let's handle this first bet first.
my
and then we'll get
friend's
into this.
my friend's dad is doing a box
Uh-huh.
with simplification and epicenter.
With?
Alexis's dad.
Right, so
Wait,
what-
I think just for the 1 and 2.
Oh,
Can
just
you
for
not
exacta.
box?
So that's the
yeah,
exacta.
an exacta.
All right, what do we got here? We got epicenter on top of what? Simplification.
Early voting and Armagnac. John, we got
Secret
John
oath? You got
Piasek
secret
here.
oath in this?
We don't have. We don't. Bring John in. Ask
great
John.
job.
John, come on in. John, which horse are we missing from this? We've keyed right now. Epicenter over Armagnac. Early voting simplification. Who do we have to throw in?
Well, I kind of hit up everybody who I already liked. I will say, if you like someone from second or third, I can see Creative Minister kind of
Okay.
stumbling along
Okay.
and getting third. He raced very well on Derby Day. Ken McPeak sounds pretty high on him. He's 10-1 on the board right now as the odds kind of correcting themselves. I think he's got a big shot.
And they
coming third, that
supplemented
is,
him.
not to
Yeah,
win, but like
yeah.
to come in third.
And they supplemented him, which means what? They paid some extra money to get him into the race, right?
Yes, they paid $150,000 just so that he could run in this
The
race.
two-horse.
Creative Minister, he was not Preakness nominated 2 weeks ago. He won on Derby Day.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yes, you can.
Yep.
Money talks.
Up until draw day, if you got 100,
I don't like that.
how much money?
Why you don't like
Because
that?
they don't allow that in like professional sports.
Well, I mean, he's an eligible horse. He's not like he just came off like
Oh.
the streets. I mean, it's a horse.
This
who's
is a
like,
professional sport.
You're like, here you go. We found
is
this
professional.
horse in Brooklyn.
Yeah. I mean, the horse is like he's running the main
Oh, wow.
circuit.
Okay.
Yeah, look at John Gotti here. He likes it. I mean, he's loving it with the glasses. So
you got 150K, you can race.
There
all
you
right.
go. Well,
Sounds good to me.
John, thank you for the input. John
Thank you,
Piasek
John.
there, one of our writers at America's Best Racing, does it all. He handicaps Maryland. This is his top track. Bram's papers flying all over the place. Okay, so this ticket's going in. We use John's horse.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Thank you.
Creative minister behind. So we're keying. Keying means we're keeping the horse in the one spot. We're keying the 8 epicenter over 1257, which means creative minister, simplification, early voting, and Armagnac. Two of those 4 horses have to finish second and third. And if we get that, we hit that ticket. Now let's move on to the superfecta. You want to get aggressive?
So how much does that cost? Like,
it only costs $12.
You said epicenter over what for our first bet?
So epicenter
Simplification.
over creative minister.
Yeah.
Armagnac and early voting. We left out Secret Oath.
Alexis, go put your bets in. It's 19
I mean, I'm not
minutes
entirely
still.
comfortable with it, but the bet's in already.
What do you mean it's already in?
19.
It's in.
We agreed?
Yeah, we agreed.
What is happening here?
All right, let's bet the
I
super.
You snooze, you lose.
Let's bet the superfecta now. With the superfecta,
You got 150K?
Yeah.
We're going to put Secret Oath into the superfecta.
Uh-huh.
All right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
So how do you want to do the superfecta? Do you want, again, epicenter only in the first spot, or do you want to put somebody else in the first spot?
Well, what do you think here? I mean, I'm willing to put 2 of them in the first spot, including epicenter. If you want to put 2 on top.
Yeah.
You want a second one on
You've
top?
heard all the analysis from everybody. You've got your opinion. What do you think?
I think we would be silly not to put epicenter in there.
But who else? Do we
Joel
want to put somebody else on
Rosario.
top?
Everyone, I think early voting is just something that, like, there's something
Or
about
how about
them.
this? Since we didn't
Jose?
put Secret Oath in the trifecta bet, we could hedge that in a superfecta bet
yeah.
by putting Super Oath on top.
All right. That's a crazy way to approach it, but I'm going to do it. So we've got now epicenter and Secret Oath.
He's crazy. Dan
Well, I'll tell
loves
you what
the
a crazy approach is. Ignoring the 9-2 horse in a trifecta bet on a 9-horse field. That's
These
crazy.
odds are so wacky. Fenwick is still 10-1, which
That's
makes
ridiculous.
Oh,
no
no,
sense
the
to
odds
me.
are crazy.
Ridiculous.
The odds are very rich strike, we
Come
were
on,
saying.
Secret Oath wins. Hot girl summer,
Okay,
baby.
hot girl,
Let's go.
hot horse summer.
Is Hot Girl Summer still
Hot
going?
girl
Is that a
summer at
thing?
Pimlico.
It may.
playa.
This year, it's died down less now that, like, everything's open.
Is like
It was more like coming out of quarantine, busted wide open,
busting
you know?
out.
Yeah.
Speaking of busting out
Okay.
and hot girls.
Megan the Stallion.
Yeah, we have to show people. I'm not going to leave this show without showing people what we experienced
Oh
last
my gosh.
night.
Also, it's so funny. I didn't realize till her entrant, like her intro package was these horses running. I go, oh,
It was sick.
the Stallion, the Preakness. Like, I just hadn't thought about it because I love
It all
her.
worked.
But yeah, it all works.
17 minutes to the Preakness. We're going to show you a minute's worth of action from last night that kicked off with some celebrity chefs doing some food in the infield. And then Megan, I got to imagine our ratings.
First name basis.
Yeah, our
over
ratings are
here.
going to blow up right now.
Nice work, Chef. Thank you. Chef Jasmine Jordan from Urban Oasis. Get it. Go. All right, guys. Okay, it's ready to go. Y'all. I would never trip about any old thing. My heart broke, it's nothing that my true love won't fix. Let me hear you. Never having never think. I'm a hot girl. Last big step, rolling like a hey, let's have a say something. Wanna see you fight for him on the low. We never show up together, but I take him when I'm ready to go. I had to Jimmy John man, told him bring it to me quick. Who can lay it like it put a bike in sweat? This bitch pussy up.
So that was tight all around. That was a good
It was so fun.
show.
I just would have never thought when I signed up with America's Best Racing that I would have such great tickets to Megan the Stallion, the Chainsmokers, Moneybag Yo. It's just not, what I used to think horse racing is. It's
Yeah.
very fun and cool and lit.
Thank you. Promo.
Thank you.
Cut it. Promo.
Yeah.
Done.
Bam, all
Love
done.
it. You mentioned Megan the Stallion last night. The coolest thing, I'd never seen this, Bram. I don't know if you've seen this before in a show, especially with an act as big as her right now. She's like the hottest thing going.
Yeah.
She was bringing fans,
Oh
every
my-
other song, bringing fans
Like
onto the
15
stage
fans a time.
to dance with her and taking selfies with her.
Like,
who does that?
And she was like, if you come up here, don't get shy. And like, They did not disappoint.
They were
And it was
doing-
just funny
Do you
and
think
fun.
it was real fans or plants?
Oh, no.
It was real.
It was like super. To one point, I thought her security was going to have to step in because they were just on her. Like they were
Yeah.
like rushing towards her, and she wasn't like security. She was like, oh ha ha ha.
Yeah,
Like
she's
we
like,
kinda
you
have
want
to
a selfie?
slide
She would
around
take a
them.
selfie with people. It was-
Yeah,
it was-
but it was really
So it was
good.
real. You're convinced that's real?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
I went once
What a
during
cynic.
the Super
What
Bowl
a
week.
cynic.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And Nelly had a
Yeah.
concert. Nelly did the same thing where he's like, come on up and dance with me. And they were too good. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
those are plants.
Right,
like, there's
right,
no
right.
way.
This
like,
is kind of not
yeah.
good.
Yeah. Well, they were
Some
like
of it
for
was, like,
every
kind of a
group of
mess.
like 10 people they brought on, one was really good, and
Yeah.
like 10 of them, like 9 of them were just
They're
terrible.
fun and funny.
But they were just having a good time taking selfies. So
Did you go up?
No.
Me or her?
You.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was definitely there. I was going there.
Dan the Stallion.
Yeah.
Dan the Stallion.
Yeah.
Dan the pony.
Dan the pony horse. Exactly.
If we have that picture of you from high school, that's Dan the
know.
Stallion.
Oh my
for
gosh.
sure.
We should have that in here
For
somewhere.
What picture?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Wait,
You do want to
do we
know.
have do we have footage of us last year? at the
Greg has it.
Preakness?
So we do have footage. So here we are. We're 13 minutes from the Preakness. We're excited. So we still have to put in our superfecta bet. We're gonna put that
Oh,
in
yeah.
a minute. Last year we were all pumped. We were excited. We're like, oh yeah, we're gonna hit the Preakness. We all thought we knew what was going on.
Who did we have?
I
even
think
remember.
like I was still on Medina Spirit maybe.
Oh yeah.
And Midnight
Oh,
Bourbon.
yeah.
I think you like Midnight Bourbon.
Yeah, good
And
memory.
then all of us were like, "There's
I
one
remember being
horse."
pissed about
Who was the
Medina
Japanese
Spirit.
horse?
Yeah.
The Japanese horse did really well.
I cannot believe I remember this name, France Godaina.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember that, and I was like, maybe. So we had every horse. The one horse that cannot win is Rombauer.
Oh.
So let's watch what happened.
Rombauer is ready to roll too. 3 chances.
Mind rallying far outside. Rombauer. It looks like Rombauer can win this race.
Wow. Yeah.
It's going to be Rombauer in the Preakness. How about that? Midnight Bourbon looks like he'll hold for second. And for third.
My comments
Medina
did
Spirit.
not age well.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I
we
mean,
nailed it. We nailed it.
anything can happen, huh?
We nailed it. So who's the only horses we haven't talked about? I mean, we talked about every horse because we obviously.
That was similar to our commentary of the Derby because we even said
Well,
we
nobody
skipped
had the Derby
we
winner.
skipped right over Rick Strike and we went literally if we pull the tape, he goes, well, if he wins, that'll be the biggest upset in all of sports.
Yeah.
Well, here we are.
The horses we haven't spoken about. Well, Fenwick we talked about a little bit. The 3 horse.
Yeah.
I still don't think he has any shot.
Neither
I
do
mean,
I.
do you want to make a case? No.
No.
The other horse we have not said a single word about. What are you doing with that? What
It's
is?
in my way.
Oh, you're done with that? You're just done with
Yeah.
that trophy?
That's it.
That's the Fan Choice Award trophy, by the way.
Oh,
so
okay.
we hand them out every year to
Oh yeah, I did
Fans.
audio for that last year.
favorites. There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what's our superfecta?
Wait, we got to talk about the
oh,
one
yeah.
horse we haven't said a single word about. That's Happy Jack.
Why? You like him?
No.
Okay.
All right, let's skip it. Happy
Yeah.
Jack wins. We're going to play this back next year and laugh
So
at ourselves
for
next year.
everyone at home that's watching this with their significant other that doesn't know what a superfecta is, what is that?
So if they don't know and their significant other doesn't
Yeah.
know, and everyone in their family and all
Yeah.
their friends don't know, a superfecta is when you select the top 4 finishers in a race, which sounds extremely difficult, but as you would expect,
You
if
can
you're-
box them.
You can box them, and then also, as you would expect, if you can actually pull that off, it pays more money than anything, right? It pays more than the trifecta, it pays more than the exact, and it pays more than just betting a horse to win if you could actually
So
get
if you have a $5 superfecta and you get the top 4 right, you hit like,
Well,
for example, what's that worth?
If you were able to do that in the Preakness, you would have won $1.5 million on
on a $5
a
bet?
$5 super, yeah. Because the dollar super paid even more than that. The dollar super paid like $350,000 in the Derby.
So whoever wins that, is it like the lottery? They're not allowed to say who it is, but they say someone hit it?
Oh, no, some people like to show off, and they'd be like, "Yep, I hit this." So people
That'd
are
be me.
Yeah.
I want the big check, and I'm like
Yeah.
holding it and shaking hands with somebody.
And with a
That's what I want.
cigar. With a cigar.
So the horses now, you can see
Wow,
them.
look.
Let me see if we can enlarge.
The
this
riders
a
are
little
up
bit.
now.
Can we make it larger? Yeah, there we go. We do have the bar down there. You want to take the bar down? So, do we have a shot of the turf course or? No, we got this shot.
Are we talking to an audience or just Greg now?
Oh no, we got.
Okay.
Look at that.
We got 1,000 people who
Oh, okay.
patiently waited
Okay.
to watch this.
Just curious.
What are you looking at there?
The call to post.
Oh, the call to the post. Nice.
The call to the post.
Oh, you have like a separate camera there. You got like a separate feed coming in.
No, I'm videoing.
Oh, that's us.
Me. Yeah. That's that.
I'm really good at technology. So you're looking at Jockey Cam 1 and Jockey Cam 2.
I want to know, how do they get that job?
What jockeys do we have?
We'll find out when the race is run.
Oh, that's why it's a surprise you don't know.
I actually don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I have no clue. But thank you for believing me initially. So
I did.
So the horse is on the track right now. The one right there, Simplification, is 8-1. You got Johnny Velasquez riding here, getting on this horse, Jose Ortiz.
JV, good old JV.
JV has won a bunch of derbies.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know he's never won the Preakness?
Is that right?
Wow.
It's right, yeah. He's won the Preakness.
He got shot today.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
He's actually the one for me.
Yeah.
If Epicenter is off today, he's the one I actually like to win. I think Epicenter's going to win and actually win handily, but if for some reason it's just not his day, that's the one I actually like.
This horse has fought a lot of battles, Simplification. He's been in a lot of races. So, he's coming toward the end of, this run of races. He's going to take a break probably after this race.
Yeah.
So, here's the two-horse Creative Minister. That's the one John Piasek said.
If he won today, would they not go to
Maybe
the
if he won today, and if he came out of the race pretty good. There's Fenwick, the horse who I still don't understand how he's 11-1. It was 50-1 in the morning line.
Nobody knows why he's 11-1.
50 or 15?
Was 50-5-0 on the morning line.
Who
is now
did that?
11-1.
Mattress Mac? How did that happen?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is it Mattress Mac?
I mean, these odds are just
I'm Mattress Mac, and I bet $58 million on Fenwick. And how does that make sense?
Now
I don't
what?
know.
Now
Nobody
what?
knows.
There's early voting. This horse is a key horse. We'll see if he goes to the front, if he's able to hang in there. Early voting is 5-1 now. So taking a little late action is early voting. The 6 horse, the horse nobody wanted to talk about, Happy Jack, is 10-1 somehow. I think this horse should be about 50-1 as well.
I do like Tyler a lot. I like
Oh, yeah.
I love him. I love him as a jockey. So if you want me to say something nice about it, I like that. I don't see much there on paper that looks like he'd be a threat here, but I do like Gaffleon a lot.
Armagnac just went by. Irad Ortiz will be up at 17-1, the longest shot on the board. And this is your favorite, Epicenter.
Yeah, this
Epicenter
is backwards.
7-5.
I mean, honestly, like Fenwick or Happy Jack or Skippy, whatever, all with lower odds than Armagnac doesn't make any sense to me. If there was somebody that was going to get some support that I didn't understand, it'd be the 7 and not those other 3.
Do we have some horses coming back? If you look at the left side of the screen, these are the horses now live on the track.
What are your thoughts on the actual odds being determined by common drunk people at the races?
That's my favorite part of this.
Yeah, because really, like, if I didn't know and I just see this, I'm like, and I didn't know about morning lines, I'd be like, oh, we got to bet this and this. And it's just like, this is the most skewed board to date. Like, everyone just has that rich strike fever.
This is like Twitter hit the odds board at the Preakness.
Yeah.
It is. It really is shocking.
But should it be like that, or should it be?
Well, that's the way it works.
Technical?
I mean, that's the beauty of a pari-mutuel game, is that if you have a strong opinion in here, you could take advantage of what seems like a lot of silly wagering on horses like Fenwick. This is going to get played back and thrown in my face later on. Horses like Fenwick, horses like Happy Jack, who have no shot at winning. Skippy Longstocking has no shot at winning. Those are 3 horses who have 0 shot at winning, and they're both shorter odds than Armagnac, who, if he gets loose on the lead, can potentially win this race. Simplification at 8-1. If he gets the right trip, he could win this race. Those other 3 horses I mentioned really can't win this race unless something completely bonkers happens. So, look, let's get back to the Superfecta because we only have 6 minutes left before the race.
Oh, Superfecta, go.
So what are we doing? Are we doing Epicenter solo on top again or no?
We've got Epicenter and Secret Oath on top. So now, who do we want in the second spot?
Simplification.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously the other 2, Secret Oath and Epicenter.
Yeah. Do we want to throw Armagnac or early voting in there as the speed horses?
Go ahead.
Early voting.
All right, we're going to go early voting. So we're going to continue this through so that they're in every spot. Now, in the third spot, do we want to add a horse? Do we want to add Armagnac? Do we want to add Creative Minister? Do we want to add somebody else?
Add a Creative Minister, please, to that group.
In the third spot?
In the third spot,
Okay. And then, is that all for the third spot?
You tell me.
I want to add Armagnac. I feel like he may hang in for a little bit. Okay. So...
And what's the all button for the fourth
Yeah,
spot
let's
look
go
like?
all. So for $1, it's 144. I'm a little queasy about that.
So which one do you want
since
to
it's
take
my
out?
account and I'm the one.
$144?
Well, yeah, for $1 super. So now we could do it for 10 cents for $14.40, but we can also multiply it. We could do it for 50 cents. We could do it for 20 cents. We could do it for 30 cents. So the 10-cent base bet is $14.40. So let's go ahead and punch it once. It's in.
Oh,
okay.
Do we want to bet?
Glad that decision was made.
Do we want to bet it again? Do we want to do it?
Excuse me? Oh, once is fine for me, Dan.
All right. Well, we got it in twice, so we're in for 20 cents, just in case.
How much time? This race needs to go off.
We can lose all sorts of money between now and the beginning. So
I'm fine with once, and it's in twice. Like what?
it's in. Now here's what I'm doing. I'm making one more
Telling
bet
your
for
wife.
anybody
Your wife
watching.
needs to put a hold on his account.
Don't even let her know. Don't let her know. Here's what I'm doing. I'm doing a $15 exacta box.
Wow.
$15 exacta box. Epicenter, Armagnac, and early voting. To me, those are the 3 speed horses. They might tire, but speed has been good all day. 3 horses active box, 5, 7, 8.
Oh, you're putting Epicenter in it. Okay.
Yep. $15.
I thought you were going to go off the board and say,
no.
what
I
the
love
heck,
Epicenter.
you know?
I love it. That's a $90 bet.
Uh-huh.
And obviously, I mean, I think if Armagnac finishes second, or even if early voting finishes second, I'll do okay for the bet. I'd be better off, obviously,
Yeah.
if somehow Epicenter doesn't hit the board here or doesn't finish in the top 2.
I'm expensing all of that.
That's a good call.
So, how do you feel about? I still think 7 to 5, even with 3 minutes to go to post. That's still a nice price for what I think should be 4 to 5, 3 to 5.
Are you going to put a win bet in?
I already did.
You put a win bet in?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Look,
when you put the win bet in, do you get 7 to 5, or you get it where you put it
you get the
at?
final odds.
Nah, don't get me started on this, okay? That's issue number 2 that I take. That, like, when I put it in is the number I want to get, but that doesn't happen.
Well, here's the deal, though.
Certain places that happens,
At
not
Monmouth
here.
Park,
'Cause I
they
wonder
just
what my
launched a
mom
thing.
did. Yeah.
At Monmouth Park in Jersey, they have a thing now. If you go fixed odds, you can go. If you bet the horse at 5 to 1, even if he goes off at 3 to 1, 2 to 1, you get him at 5 to 1. They got fixed odds there. But that's the only place where you can get that right now. So
I think Circa does it too, if I'm right.
Oh, this is such a cool shot. Just
Circa
look,
does it. I
everyone's
think I might be right
standing.
about that. But I'm with fixed odds. That's one of my big primary issues.
Yeah.
And the other one is when you win the Kentucky Derby, you should show up here. That's my other.
I picked up on that. I picked up that
Just a
was
little bit?
that
Oh,
was
we
on.
had that whole thing when you were gone.
I know. We were.
We
I
had
was
the
getting
Rich
panicked messages from Greg about.
We had the whole
Tell me to
thing.
shut up about it. You
No,
didn't want to
no,
be
he
here
was
for
like,
that.
I don't know where this is going.
What do you mean, where's it going? I'll tell you where it's
Because
going.
also too, like I always try to like at least have someone like in our group that's like taking the other side.
Yeah.
And like we all were on the same side. Like there's
Yeah.
just like, it's just. You're admitting fault by not showing up. You're admitting you're
Well,
scared.
I think that's what it is more than it.
You're admitting hesitation.
There are a lot of considerations. I'm assuming Tom got into this as well. Breeding, pedigree, all that. You want to make sure the horse has got a good resume. You can say, look, this horse is spectacular, did A, B, C, and D. The horse is more likely to run better at the Belmont than he was coming back 2 weeks later and running here. So
but
that's
no
it.
one's gonna remember. Like it's not gonna like neglect like his win if he just ran
I'll tell you
bad
what,
race
if he
today.
comes back and he runs well at the Belmont, people will be like, wow, maybe this is a good horse. If he come
Yeah.
back and ran bad here, people will be like, nah, that was a fluke.
And they would still forget. But a fluke is like great. You can still have an amazing career on being a fluke.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
look at Snooki. You know, like she kills it. She's like a multi-millionaire, and they were like the laughing stock. And each like episode of Jersey Shore, they made millions of dollars.
By the
They're
way,
reaping.
Bigger fluke, Snooki or Rich Strike?
Oh, and like,
Yeah.
but it's like no hating against her. Like she's an amazing. Now she's like worth millions.
I'm gonna buy a horse, name it Snooki, and pay $150,000
Yeah,
to get it in
get
this
it in
race.
there.
Next year, boom,
Get
count
it in
on
there.
we haven't put too many fan reactions,
Oh,
viewer
yeah.
reactions on
Sorry,
the
guys,
screen.
we've been literally ignoring you
but
the whole
a
time.
lot of comments here.
Early voting.
It's a lot
lot
of secret oath. People love
lot of secret oath?
Oh, we love it.
secret oath.
I mean, listen, that's not a bad position to take.
A lot of secret oath.
You know,
fans
I would
here.
argue that probably second best horse on the board. So I don't think it's it's not a bad
Sure.
position to take.
Yep,
You know, we'll see.
And it's a good story. And if you're gonna have a long shot in anything, what a story, you know, for the girl.
Absolutely.
Here
So-
for the girls.
So many comments here. Lots.
Also, what are the odds that she gets 8th and it's the pink? That's funny, right? Like the 8 spot?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's pink, and she's a girl?
Well, 8's epicenter, but she's the other. So it's the top 2. I get where you're coming from.
Guys, never mind.
It's
Scratch
okay.
that.
So, Secret Oath 9-2 right now. A couple of years ago, Swiss Skydiver won the Oaks. Won the Preakness. Last filly to win the Preakness.
Yeah. Yep.
She did it at like
What
11-1, I think. 2020, just a couple of years ago.
A girl?
Yeah, yeah. And before that, it was Rachel Alexandra, who we saw earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, like she did it
It's
at big
doable.
odds. With the exception of Rachel Alexandra, they usually get overlooked.
Yeah.
And so 9-2, I think Secret Oath's being overlooked slightly.
Why is she such a big horse, Rachel?
She was
Alexander?
just she was always dominant. When she ran against the fillies, she just didn't lose, and she won by like 10 lanes, 15 lanes.
Yeah.
And so when she faced the boys, it was like, all right, well, this is someone who's dominant against the other females in the division. Now she's facing the boys. So this, the thing with Secret Oath is that she was dominant against the fillies.
Yeah.
She faced the boys once, and she lost. She finished 3rd.
Right.
So now,
still a great showing.
So everyone's like, oh, well, she can't. It's not the same. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought she ran a big race. Her Oaks was big.
Yeah. Who else was saying?
So
in the Oaks too. I mean, she was in the 8-path at one point, right? Wasn't she?
She made a rally. She had to come.
She was like
she'd come
6
around
wide or
horses,
something
yeah,
like that.
for sure.
So so it wasn't a great trip. She had an interesting break. It wasn't a great trip. So it's hard to just look at that and make a statement. Well, she lost to the boys and therefore she didn't have a chance here. I think you have to go back and at least look at the performance and look at the trip and go, all right, so let's take this into context like we would with any other horse.
Yep.
I don't think it's a bad take to go, I think she has a real shot here. I just think Epicenter is clearly above everybody else.
Yep.
If Epicenter wasn't here, she'd be the favorite.
Yep.
Yeah.
In my opinion, she would be. Yeah.
I'm going to do what I planned on doing at the beginning of this week, which was doing a hard...
More bets?
More bets?
I'm betting more.
How do you even know what you want at this point? I feel like...
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell my wife. Don't tell anybody. So I'm doing just another bet here.
I've lost track.
I told everybody at the beginning of this week it was Epicenter, Secret Oath, and then whoever else for 3rd and 4th.
Right.
My mind changed today when I saw how this track was playing, but I'm putting that bet in now just so I have it, because if it comes out, those two, and I don't have it, I'm going to be distraught. But we do have the Super still going with those two.
We have her on top, right? So
we have her on top, too,
see,
in case she wins.
Now, suddenly, you like my hedge position of putting her on the Super, because if she wins and somehow Epicenter is off the board, we cash in.
We could. All right, so they're going into the gate now. Lots of people watching. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in right now. 2,000 live viewers. That's not bad.
I just texted my sister. I said, turn on NBC.
Well, turn on us.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She may be. She got you hot at the track.
If you want to watch this without us, you could turn on NBC, but don't do that really. So anyway, I'm going to take us off the screen, I guess, right?
Or half your computer screen of us and have this on. Here we go.
You want to keep us on? All right. So we'll keep us on, but we're going to have audio. So do we have the audio? Do you hear anything, Greg?
We'll find out. Stay
Are you hearing
tuned.
audio?
Oh my God,
They're
and they're off.
All right, so they're off. Let's see who's going to the lead. Here are the horses right now coming through behind us.
It's so exciting.
So Epicenter
love
could
that
not
shot.
get to the lead.
Nicely done, Greg. That was awesome. Nicely done, guys.
Early voting.
That was good stuff.
Who's
There's
the seventh?
Armagnac.
Oh my God, Armagnac.
I told you.
is
And
gone.
Epicenter is second from last right now and did not get off
What
to
is
got
Epicenter
squeezed.
doing back there?
She got squeezed. He got squeezed and got behind the pack. So this could be an interesting spot
boy.
for him to try to
this
come back
could be
from.
a 7-5. 7-5 all day without. I mean, there's no. He's going slow. 24-1 is slow. I don't know what's happening right now. How
Something happens.
this horse is going this slow. Look, if it's
Something
7-5,
happened.
I'll tell you what. Dinner on me for the next week because I've got this exacta for $15. 7-5. If we can get this to come out.
Where is Secret Oath?
So he went a little faster there that second quarter, 23 and change. Secret Oath looks like sort of toward the back of the pack. They're not going overly fast still. This 3/4 time will be.
I mean,
will be
if
telling.
Irad's already pulled out like that far ahead, I mean, it's just maybe over.
Let's see. So 7-5.
Armagnac.
Creative Minister on the rail looks pretty good. All right, they're going an honest pace now. 111 and 2 for 3/4 is honest enough. but there's no reason.
Creative Minister coming up as well.
Creative Minister, here we go. Let's
Here we
see if
go.
Armagnac
Come
has
on,
anything
Creative
left in the
Minister.
tank. Early voting looks like he's about to
Early
kick away here.
voting. Come on.
Early voting kicking away. I would love for Armagnac to kick back here.
Early voting.
Secret oath on the outside.
On the
Secret
outside?
oath on the
Let's
outside.
go.
Up the rail. Is that
Epicenter.
Creative Minister up the rail? In between horses?
Oh my gosh.
Is that Epicenter in between horses?
Epicenter's on the rail.
Oh, okay. Wait, do we have this? We may have this. We may have this superfecta. 5, 8.
Creative Minister.
Early voting.
We hit the super.
Early voting one.
But early voting won. But
we
Creative
don't have the
Minister.
super. We had Secret Oath and Epicenter on top.
Oh, we don't have it. We don't have it. Wait, let me double check. These tickets. Hold on.
Wait, like locked in? No, we had a box of something.
Oh, my ticket hit. My exacta ticket
of course
hit.
it did.
My 5.8. Sorry. Dinner's still on me tonight.
Guys.
Dinner's still on me tonight.
Jose Ortiz.
What happened to Epicenter?
Epicenter got
really did
squeezed
not
at the
break.
start. Was
Squeezed
way
or
back.
just like hurt? Well, I need to know where Secret Oath was. It's just so confusing when they don't put it on the bottom like usual.
So Epicenter,
Oh my gosh.
given where Epicenter was, probably ran
Secret
the best
Oath
race.
got fourth.
Epicenter couldn't find any room, tried to get up the rail, came too late. Early voting out on the lead, was able to hold.
Fourth.
This was a bad start for Epicenter.
Yeah.
He was,
We need to see
he was
the
in
start.
eighth
Here we
place.
go, here we
eighth
go.
place. Watch. You'll get squeezed between the 7 and the 9. You'll see, and he's in the back of the pack.
Ooh, the 9. Skippy Longstocking
SWB
really.
audio capture
Skippy
not
Longstocking won the
registered.
race for early voting.
Screw.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's what that Skippy
Skippy
Longstocking comes over a little
Long.
bit?
Yes.
Yeah, instantly, and then.
But look, that's honestly,
Armagnac.
I see
not
that.
Bad. It's not bad.
That does not look like Epicenter had every shot to get to the front. Epicenter just did not break. not go. I
$55
mean, they
million.
did not
break fast. No. He needed to break fast. He didn't. He got behind. He stalked the whole way and finally found a room up the rail, and it was too late. Couldn't catch him.
I'll tell you what.
He needed the extra 16th of a mile to get there.
Chad Brown does it again.
I will say, Armagnac did back up as the speed horse, but once again, if you were just locked in on the fact that horses near the front end were staying there all day, early voting began to make more and more sense as the day went on. And for me, didn't make sense initially, but with the way the track was playing, the fact that he was the fresh horse, came in, didn't run in the Derby, he made sense.
I mean, this played well. I mean, I would argue, you'll watch on the replay, Epicenter never, and you were calling it, they were not going fast early.
No.
Epicenter did not make a move to improve position early,
right.
laid back too far, waited for space on the rail, got it, but it was too late.
Yeah.
It was too late.
Yeah.
And even to wait that long is not Joel Rosario's pace at all.
Well, that's the whole thing. So, like, when you're in Joel Rosario's position, you were like, look, I don't want to panic and send this horse right now and use up everything he's got because then he's gonna have nothing left, for the stretch. So I think what he's trying to do is nurse the horse along enough to get him in position. I didn't realize that was 8 up the rail. I thought that was Creative Minister up the rail. So when you said that was the 8, I was like, wow, he made up a lot of ground. I was surprised that he was actually in that spot turning for home. I thought he was further back still.
And I'll tell you what, that 100K went to good use. Creative Minister ran an amazing
That's right.
race.
He did. Finished
really
third
came out
there.
strong, finished third, and just stayed with the pace the whole time. So he will be an interesting person if he's entering Belmont.
So now, that would be interesting to see him wheel back. Early
interesting to
voting, you
watch.
got to imagine is going to be there now.
Yeah.
Early voting versus Rich Strike. Interested? Sexy? Not so much, right?
No.
Early voting versus Rich Strike. Rich Strike showing up to that one.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Rich Strike.
Where did old Happy Jack come in?
Oh, I didn't see Happy Jack. We're going to have to watch that
The ones
back.
that got bet down to ridiculous levels were non-factors. in
Fenwick
all
was
of
not
this.
did nothing.
Fenwick was a non-factor.
Skippy,
Happy
nothing.
Jack was a non-factor. Skippy ended up in what? 5th?
Oh, Skippy finished 5th. Okay.
5th
So
out
now,
of
where
9th,
did-
though.
so
I mean, what are we talking
Armagnac
about
just fell back. He blew it at the beginning.
No, he was the one leading most
Yeah,
of the
but,
way.
like, where did
oh,
he
yeah,
finish?
He totally just
Here
gave
we
it
go.
up.
Look at that. I'm just car sick from
So it
seeing the
looks like,
jockey
here
cams.
we go on the solo layout. So this was, now we know who the jockey cam was on. It was on early voting. Because you can see that, well, maybe not. Oh, no, wait. Who was sitting, yeah, it was on early voting.
Yeah, because that's Armagnac.
That's Armagnac, yeah.
I'll tell you what, the ladies that interview the jockeys on horse
That's
with a
impressive, isn't it?
microphone.
Like
Who's
how-
holding this? Like, what is the production behind that?
Well, to keep your balance, to think of
Touche.
questions, to do all that.
I
And
mean-
on NBC, it's Donna Brothers, who's, she used
Yeah.
to be a rider. She used to be a jockey.
Oh,
so,
cool.
I
Wow.
love that shot that we cut to, by the way. It was a small detail, but from a production standpoint, I don't know if you guys saw, we cut to the shot of the horses going by us the first time, which is pretty sexy.
I was just sitting here seething over the ride by Rosario and Epicenter, really. More
I don't
than
know what
anything.
that was.
Armagnac,
I gotta believe that's more the horse. I don't know. Like how do you not send with the way the track's playing? Joel knows better.
Now
how do you not make sure that horse is out there?
He didn't get through, got squeezed behind. He's in 8th, gets over to the rail, sits behind Creative Minister, doesn't make a move even though they're not going a fast pace, so doesn't improve position. By the time the rail opens, it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late.
I love our chat. Tony says, someone asked, did the race happen yet? Tony says, the race didn't happen yet. Rebecca says, ditto. And then she says, no, it has happened. So they're like trolling, like the people in the chat are trolling each other. They're like, did the race happen yet? And some of the people are like, no, it hasn't happened yet. Hang tight. And then somebody else is like, just chill, hang tight. And they're like, yeah, whatever.
Play nice.
I know. They're having a little bit of fun.
Now, quick question for Armagnac. I can't even say that name. Irad.
You actually nailed it.
It's
That was
good?
perfect.
Okay, great. Irad coming out the gate flying like that is very not Irad behavior. He usually hangs back. He usually comes around the last corner, goes. Is it because he saw how fast-paced the track's been all day?
You're alluding to something right now that I actually wanted to bring up and I totally forgot to bring up. Look who, so Irad was riding Armagnac. Look who was riding early voting.
Yeah.
Did you think for a second it would make sense for those two to get involved in a pace duel?
Yeah.
You did? But
well,
they're brothers.
no,
you want
no.
them to like battle each other and just, I mean.
But they could talk to each other about get a game plan.
But yeah,
together.
that wouldn't be above board now, would it, right?
Yeah.
Like you would hope that like every jockey's riding their race. But in my mind, I still couldn't envision a situation where early voting and Armagnac were battling each other into submission because they're brothers, right? Like they're not going to do. Are they going to completely eliminate each other?
I think for both of them, the reality to win the race was to get to the front.
Yeah.
But neither one of them are coming from off the pace to win, so they both had to go out there, and they both got out there. Armagnac just doesn't have the distance in him, in my opinion.
Yeah. Which is weird. Wouldn't you think Irad would hold him back then, knowing that he didn't have the distance? Or
Maybe.
He came out that gate hot.
Once they were sitting there 1-2, they must have been looking around like, where the heck is Epicenter?
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
where is this horse? And they're like, oh, damn, it's just us two now. Armagnac's best chance of winning was being alone in the lead. Early voting's best chance of winning was being just off of him. So it didn't make any sense for them to battle each other into submission because their best chance of
the
winning
pace was slower. I mean,
And
they
it
didn't
was
go.
pretty slow.
They didn't go at a crazy pace.
They went a touch earlier as they went on, touch quicker as they went on, but they still, the quarter was 24 and change, 24 and 1. Half 47 and 2 is fast for a half considering that first quarter. And then they did 111 and 2, which again, these numbers mean nothing to anybody. But trust me when I tell you, going from a 24 first quarter to 47 and 111 is honest for this sort of distance. They did pick things up as the race went on. They didn't go lightning fast. They went a moderate pace, but early voting had every reason to win. Armagnac had every reason to win. Early voting's the better horse.
I mean, look at this. 24, 111, almost 112.
Yeah.
I mean, they were not blazing here.
No. Yeah.
They were not blazing at all. And so, I think this really is about the ride, the break for Epicenter, not being in position to make a real move. And then I need to rewatch with Secret Oath because the way that played out, you would have thought she would have won based on that. But I don't know what happened there. I wasn't watching that one closely enough.
She made a decent enough move, and maybe the reality is she can dominate in the female division, but she cannot run in this division and win. Maybe she can hit the board in this division. So as I'm looking at the KS, Claridge Stables, one of the biggest owners in the sport of horse racing, and Chad Brown, one of the best trainers in horse racing, I'm reminded of cloud computing. I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, we were standing in the infield. Cloud computing won the Preakness, so another Preakness for Chad Brown. Last year, we were both in on Chad Brown horses, risk-taking, and the other one whose name I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
But we were so high on those horses. We were betting on them left and right. They did nothing. This year, completely turned our
Listen,
back
I
on
think
Chad Brown.
he did what he was supposed to do, and I think got a little fortunate that Epicenter had the ride that they did. Other than that, but that's to take nothing away from him. He did everything he had to do to win, and he won.
And
So
also
congratulations to him.
Not the worst break by Epicenter either. So I'll be interested to see what he even says after the race. Because it wasn't the worst break, Joel Rosario.
So you're bringing up an interesting point too, which is that you're like, look, hey, maybe the horse could have still made a move from off the pace and maybe should have won. The thing with these horses is they have a certain running style. If a horse likes to be on the front or near the pace, they have to do that. And this horse was so far back, he was in a position he'd never been in before.
He's like, how do I navigate?
So he's like, what am I
going
to do now?
True.
So I thought, all in all, Epicenter ran a big race.
Yeah,
given the fact that he just didn't get out of the gate like we thought he would.
Yeah, but there's a feel issue here. I mean, and this is a little bit on Rosario, honestly. It's like, okay, so you had a bad break. You've got to adjust to it. You still have the best horse in the race. He didn't make a move early. In my opinion, make a move. And if you rewatch, you'll see he didn't have much of space, but he also didn't attempt to change lanes, get into a different position, get around, and he waited, and it just ended up being too long.
Yeah.
He finally got the horse going in the stretch, but he ran out of stretch.
I'll tell you what, with that head start that early voting had, with that great trip he had, I honestly don't know if he could have moved at any point where he would have caught early voting. I mean, it's not like he was gaining ground on him to the point where he was like, "Ooh, he just missed him." I don't know that he was catching early voting today after that break.
Yeah, maybe not. It's the break, and it's he did the best he could to get to the inside at that point, save ground, but he never made a move into the far turn to get into. And he waited for the lane to open. It finally did. It was too late.
Yeah,
it was just too late. We're talking fractions of a second here. He didn't take. Listen, that's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
I think this is about the ride more than anything, really.
Yeah.
Do you take Joel off of Epicenter for
they
Belmont?
Wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do it just because Joel is like, it's like, I mean, I'm trying to compare it to another sport.
They did it last year with Irad.
It's one of those things. Joel Rosario is like Tom Brady, right? Like if he has a bad game, you're not going to bench him the next game.
Well, I don't even think, because it's a whole animal and a person, I never look at it as like you're benching them. It's like more
Don't take it personally. Don't take it
personally. Or it's like how they
personally.
ride together and like they're, if they're simpatico and like if they're feeling each other.
Well, he's done well on this
horse
horse
before.
before.
What was the horse last year? That it was Irad and they changed the rider and he was on the green 5 from the Florida Derby. And they changed him for the Derby and it was shocking. And that's when I was like, oh, we need Real Housewives of jockeys and like this world because the drama.
I'm trying to remember the horse's name. I've pulled a lot of names out of my
oh
back
gosh,
pocket
and
here,
he
but I
was
don't have
great.
them.
And he ran great at the Derby.
He did.
And great here. I can't remember. If anyone puts in the chat, if you know what I'm talking about.
So,
all right, guys, we had a great day at the race. It's not that hot now. It feels good.
Not that bad. I feel like it's always said when we wind down. I don't want to wind down.
It means that it's time to eat.
It is time to eat. So, do you guys have dinner plans?
No.
No? What do you
But
want to do?
you're taking us out.
I said I would take you out tonight, wouldn't I? Let me see what it paid first. Let me see what my exacta paid. And
well,
then
we owe you $14.
No, I essentially broke even for the Preakness after all those bets. So let me see. The exacta, $15 exacta I hit. I'll tell you what the $15 exacta paid. We paid $193.
That's great.
So it did make up for our trifecta losses.
Yeah. Oh,
all right.
Look at this little kitty.
You know where we could go?
What? Same place.
Wendy's.
Oh, yeah. It's like the same taco place we went last year. I love seeing...
Oh, yeah, the Mexican place is spectacular.
I love seeing the horses that win being washed off at the ends because you can really tell how excited they are and how happy and like how they... It's like how they sweat. It's like it's like a different thing that their glands put out.
After this day, I want somebody to spray me down.
Yeah, someone hose us down. Oh, who they just zoom in?
We got a lot of zoom on. We know we're up with this shot. Alex, we are up with that shot. We were up with that shot. We were. That's a perfect time. Are you going to curse? No. Then come on in.
Hi.
All right. We have a surprise guest.
Hi, guys. Did you hit? Did you win?
It's the end of the show. All right, let's cut back here. This is live streaming. We're live streaming. Tell us who you are. Tell us who your horse is.
I'm Andre Vaughn. My horse ran at Monmouth Park, but I did hit the 5 horse though.
Oh, go ahead. Early voting.
Corvette Cat. And Monmouth, fourth race, came in second. So
amazing.
in the money, first time
You
out.
finished second in Monmouth and you won here.
And you have a great outfit. You
Yes.
guys look
Thank you.
great.
Thank you so
What's
much.
your name?
I'm Barrington Branch.
Andre,
I
what's
hit
the
golf
ring?
horse as well.
What's the
All
ring?
right. Hit the five.
From what?
So, but you
Health
didn't
and
bring us
wellness?
any drinks
Looked
or
like a
anything to
Super Bowl
celebrate.
ring.
I was going to ask you guys what you wanted. That was the main thing next.
It's all
You
right.
guys are doing a phenomenal job. Keep the horse
Thanks.
racing going. We
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
that.
You guys
Look at
look
that
great.
outfit.
I know.
Huh? And look at you.
He looks like the guy from Wendy's when he takes his jacket off.
No, he doesn't. No, I'm not laughing. You good, man. I like that. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Good
Thank
luck.
you guys.
Awesome. All right, so a couple of winners here
Yeah.
today. Look.
And everyone's outfits are great. I will say, I think everyone's dressed really good here.
Yeah. No, there is like a certain
People from Baltimore love Preakness. It's
Yeah.
like Derby. Like if you're from Kentucky or you're from anywhere around there, you have Keeneland, you have Churchill Downs. They take it personally.
Well, we talked about this, and I mentioned this to you, and this is a good way to kind of put a button on this thing, or a little bow on this thing, actually, is we talked about this yesterday. You might have heard Bram earlier kind of going off about, why is this horse not here and all that. That's because he cares. Like, he's a Maryland guy who wants to see the Preakness in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And he gets pissed when you don't have the Derby winner here because we care about racing in Maryland. And racing in Maryland, to me, is like the most blue-collar thing.
Yeah.
I love it here.
Yeah.
I used to live here. And, yes, it would have been nice to see Rich Strike, but I'll tell you what, I think we got a pretty good Preakness.
We did. We got a good result.
Would Rich Strike have rode well
No.
in what you saw?
I don't think so, and
No.
I think his connections were basically saying that they,
The only horse who closed was Epicenter, so nobody else came from off the pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because who came in third? Creative Minister was
He
right
was
off.
close. He was
Yeah, he
close
was
enough.
close. He was off the pace, but he was and I felt like maybe an exotics type of situation because it wasn't of that caliber. He didn't have that type of speed to get out in front. It didn't have the closing speed to do it, but because of a short field, had an opportunity here, and good on them for thinking that through and benefiting from it, and hitting the board.
Yeah. Bram, Danielle, you've
Yes.
heard you've done now at least half a dozen of these shows.
Yeah.
You've seen us go through all the strategy and the prep and the opinions and this, that. What's your one takeaway about betting on horse racing at this point?
Oh my gosh, you can't be attached to your money that you give. It's just really, there's no rhyme or reason. I think I did better when I knew nothing about the horses.
I say the same thing myself.
I really do. Like the people I would pick on the live stream and I would tell blackjack and they'd be like, what? And then it would do pretty well. So yeah, and I think just like boxing, it's just fun to hit something, even if you don't win. So boxing things is really fun. A win bet's just hard.
Yeah.
It's not fun when you lose, but it's such a fun. It's the people watching is second to none at horse racing.
Well, and you touch on something that's important that a lot of people who play this every day, they will tell you the opposite. They'll say, look, I need to show positive ROI. This is what I do, so I need to make money. But if you're here enjoying it casually, you want to have that feeling of winning something. So if it means a win place bet, a win place show bet, you do it. If you're somebody who's in it and you're trying to make a long-term profit and you see this as a potential avenue for, revenue, which it can be for some people, then, you bet more aggressively and you make that strong win bet. So many people bet maybe $500 or $1,000 on Epicenter to win because he seemed like the right play.
Yeah.
And they go home with nothing today. But maybe 7 times out of 10, they go home with a lot more money in their pocket. So that's the game. I mean, you win some and you lose some. It's cliche, but that's the game. And horse racing, just when you think you figured it out, will humble you. And so we saw so much today that was like, all right, I know what's going to happen now. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then it just, it doesn't happen that way.
And
so.
Preakness, I think, is my favorite track.
I love that. I love that.
So now that I had Derby, Derby was a bad showing because of the weather. But so I've done Derby, Preakness, Belmont, Saratoga, Del Mar, Keeneland. And so I think out of all of them, I really loved Preakness last year, and there wasn't the infield, there weren't the performers, it was kind of still COVID-y, that's a word. And I told you, I was like, I like the setup. I think it's not like you're not walking 19 miles at the Derby. It's so massive. I like the setup. I thought the people in the infield, it was all local fish taco trucks and barbecue, and it was all these Baltimore locals. They were lovely, absolutely so sweet. Everyone talks to you. Everyone compliments each other's outfits. I think if you're sitting at home and you're like, oh, what would be a good first race? Where should I go? I would recommend Preakness. I just think it's you get so much bang for your buck.
I love
here.
it. I love it. And I love to hear that too. And it's the truth. This is my favorite race of the year. I was happy to be here. I was glad to spend it with the both of you,
Yes,
Danielle
thank you for
Moinet, Bram
having us.
Weinstein. Excited to be here. I'm Dan Tordjman with America's Best Racing. Before we go, I do want to thank everyone for tuning in. We had thousands of viewers tune in across our social media channels, so thank you for tuning in. And thank you to our production team. Behind the scenes, they never want us to thank them, but Alex Probst, to put together all the great video that you saw, the edited video of Megan the Stallion, the festival video, and some of the shots around the track. Greg Charkoudian, JD Mitchell, running production, lights, camera, everything behind the scenes. We cannot do this without them. They are absolutely spectacular, and we appreciate them. Until next time, we're America's Best Racing. We'll see you.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than America'sBestRacing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. America'sBestRacing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.